Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Turn myself up a little bit. Oh, my lighting looks weird. That's because I have a window open. It's fine. It's fine. Hope Vesper talks about how badly Musk is doing in court. Oh, yeah, I have, I absolutely have that already pulled up. Don't worry about it. Well, I have it saved to pull up. There it is. All right, give me a second. I am going to tilt my camera up just a skosh. There we go. It is better for me. Hello, little dog. Hello. Lady. No. All right. Hey. All right, give me a second. I need to get her food, apparently. All right, there. Shoosh. Oh. Huh. What did Kid Rock have to say to the military? That shit is crazy, by the way. All right, yeah, sorry. I'm pulling up some stuff. Sure. Come on. Sorry, it's trying to pull up the article right now. Are we? There we go. All right. OpenAI. All right. Yeah, I'm going all the way down to. God damn. Wish they would have a, well, maybe they did. I guess I didn't check if they had a just go to the bottom of this thing button, because that would be useful. Oh no, now I have to feed cat too. Or nor. All right, chat. I'll be right back. The torture never stops. All right, give me one more second. Okay. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Oh. And I'm getting everything. Talk about that. And what was it? Oh yeah. So Erika Kirk, huh? How about that Erika Kirk? Yeah, let me go to full screen here. Genuinely forgot she existed. God, I wish I could. I wish I could. I need some Kirk. Yeah, you and me both, huh? Come on. Ayo. Up high. God damn it. All right, give me another second. There we go. Get some actual lighting in here. Oh. All right. We're all good. I'm comfy. I'm cozy, chat. I'm peeling off a nice top of some delicious Soylent beverage. I'm ready to lock in. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling kind of locked in. Cartoon 49, thank you for $5. Thoughts on the Michael movie getting bad reviews, yet folks are enjoying it, and anti-woke people saying movie critics suck because of it? Like, yeah, I think it's not actually that different from the weird reflexive defense they lobbed at Pragmata. Like, Pragmata was another, like, somebody they just associate criticism with wokeness, and it's the weirdest fucking idea to me. Are you serious? I just fed you, dog. Cat. All right, well, she's screaming again, so I'll be right back. Yeah, no, I think that's so. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but that seems so fucking weird. The Michael movie of all things. But no, I think there are definitely, as I say that, I think there are definitely boomers and Gen Xers in particular who are exactly the kind of exactly the contingent of people who aren't able to. They're the, well, you just have to separate the art from the artist, and they'll go and clap along to somebody that they know is a pedophile. Like it's so fucking annoying. But that, like, that's dumb. Cartoon 49, that's real dumb, but somehow not surprising. Really quick, today, I'm just going through my bookmarks real quick. The resolution was brought forward by Representative Josh Gottenheimer and Mike Lawler. The two received nearly $3 million from AIPAC/pro-Israel lobby groups combined. And this is real, by the way. Yeah, get this in there. See if I can get the full thing. Campbellzilla, hello. Thank you very much for $5. The same psychological gymnastics that put Trump back in office are the same ones in play for Michael Jackson cult worship. Yeah. 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 This is so fucking funny. Like, funny in a very dark way. Right? Like, when I say funny, I need to make sure everybody knows that I'm not laughing over here like slap on my leg, hee hee ha ha. This actually sucks ass that our elected representatives are trying to censor just somebody who's pro-Palestine. Just somebody who reads fucking books. Just like that this is what they're spending their time on. People, they have spent literally more hours, think, your tax dollars funding their lavish lifestyles has been spent, more money has gone to fighting Hassan Piker this last week probably than has gone towards your healthcare, trying to get it cheaper, trying to make gas cheaper, trying to do anything to assuage all this bullshit. This is what they are spending your taxpayer dollars on. Anti-Semitic, hate-filled rhetoric and content disseminated by prominent online personalities. Do you think they're going to bring up Nick Fuentes? I wonder if they are. Blah blah blah. Anti-Semitic. Whereas by name they list Hassan Piker. That's fucking crazy, dude. Online platforms have been identified as a major vector for the spreading of such hatred. Whereas Hassan Piker, a prominent online streamer, has often used anti-Semitic rhetoric, including expressing support for Hamas. That's not anti-Semitic. This is hey, look, everybody who's still bitching about me making shitty arguments in a video I did 2 years ago. Look, I've changed my position. It's not anti-Semitic to support and by the way, give critical support to fighting oppressors. Okay, that's better. This is the least insane thing. Oh yeah, that's why we're starting with it first. And in August 2019, God, that's fucking crazy. America deserved 9/11. I can't help but note they didn't talk about the rest of that conversation. Orthodox Jews as inbred. I mean, downplayed sexual violence committed by Hamas. Are we really doing we are introducing censorship bills against Twitch streamers for quote unquote downplaying sexual violence? Or do we want to get into that fucking arena with the overlap, the three circles, let's say, between streamers, sexual assaulters, and the politics space? Like, do we want to start going in? Like, come on, really? Really? Blah, blah, blah. Hamas over Israel every time, doubling down on claims in multiple media appearances that Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel. Whereas Candace Owens has employed rhetoric that has included conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. Candace Owens, don't care. Also, conflating her with Hassan is fucking wild, dude. Campbellzilla. Oh wait, I thought I saw somebody just donate. I want to make sure I don't miss one. Okay. Blah blah blah. Oh no, they didn't. They didn't. Fucking Jesus Christ. They did not make a. Yeah, not Nick Fuentes. Not not Alex Jones, not Tucker, not any of these people that have inspired open animus towards Israel, that have literally been saying shit about Hitler being good for over a fucking decade. Not word one about these people, like Nick Fuentes, who had dinner with Trump at one point, who hangs out with Alex Jones all the fucking time now. Like, no, nothing for them. Christ, man. It is resolved that it is the sense of the House of Representatives that, one, anti-Semitic rhetoric and conspiracy theories disseminated by influential personalities, including Hassan Piker and Candace Owens, are dangerous and contribute to a climate of hatred. Individuals with online platforms have a responsibility to refrain from promoting or amplifying blah, blah, blah. Oh, everybody should unequivocally condemn anti-Semitism, including when it's propagated by high-profile media figures. Efforts to downplay or excuse rhetoric under the guise of political commentary should be rejected, and the United States affirms its commitment to combating anti-Semitism. Where's this motherfucking heat for hate speech against literally any other fucking group except for the one funded by AIPAC? That pisses me off. All right. There was some other stuff. Oh, we talked about it a while ago, but Mel Kurth, the teaching assistant who gave the student a failing grade, the absolute dog shit essay we read that was, it was supposed to be, I remember what it was supposed to be about, but the insane right-wing, this wannabe Riley Gaines girl got an F on it and made it everybody else's problem. Yeah, she's been fired. The trans teacher, so that sucks. Clavicular, that is a funny story. Yeah, let's look at this real quick. Fallen under the sway of an unsavory new mentor. Famously handsome live streamer is a fucking way to start that. 20-year-old whose antics have made him a media sensation survived to mog another day. The day after he overdosed, he ripped the IV out of his arm and left the hospital against medical advice. Why would he do that? Because he had to attend the opening that evening of his own Miami Beach nightclub, Baccara, and his new business partner isn't a man to be kept waiting. That man is Miami nightlife impresario High Walk 9, who, in addition to running Baccara, operates several others. He lives a glamorous life. He's married to a former model, and he partied on his yacht with rapper Offset just before the rapper was shot earlier this month. Now he's taking Clavicular under his wing, helping him sign a deal for a dating app meant to distribute women more equally to members of the incel community, and guiding him through condominium purchases. Oh my god. Yeah, no. So basically, what's happening here? Here we go. He has a lengthy criminal record. This is the dude in business now with Clavicular. He has a lengthy criminal record. He has maintained close connections to Israel's most feared organized crime groups, according to federal prosecutors. He has a history of terrorizing his business associates and served several years in federal prison for extortion. Last year, prosecutors alleged he used members of the Crips and Mexican Mafia as his enforcers. Oh, no, Johnny Varro, he's absolutely fucking mobbed up. That's fucking insane. That is fucking insane. All right. We have the Jimmy Kimmel thing. We have Erika Kirk. I'll close that. I don't care about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Jimmy Kimmel, they still want to get Jimmy Kimmel off the fucking air. Big whoop. Nehemia, thank you very much for $5. It was mentioned on A Bit Fruity that it's funny that the first big right-wing thing after Charlie got kirked was someone named Fullnecky. God, I forgot. That's what I remember. Her name was Samantha Fullnecky. God, ooh, what a great. Yep. Let me. Jimmel Kimmel. Yes, Jimmel Kimmel. I'm sorry. Jimmel Kimmelson. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's been a long day. By the way, if y'all didn't know, over on Patreon, we have a wonderful look at the long form video essay I've been working on the last couple weeks. If you haven't checked it out, please go do so. If you are subscribed to the Patreon. If not, you can give a couple bucks. It all helps out right now. Especially, we are trying to raise money for some of our community members, but also I'm heading over to Seattle for a couple days in a little over 2 weeks. And I am looking to save as much money as possible, and it's looking like we might not have a place to stay, which is the bummer, I think. So if anybody, this is going to be one of my last calls, if anybody over in Seattle, if you have a place to stay, you have a spare room, just to help my partner and I keep this trip as low budget as possible, it would be very much appreciated. I'm a little, I can sleep anywhere, so like it's not even a big deal. If you have that kind of generosity, or if you have that kind of room available, of course I would compensate you. And yeah, feel free to DM me if that's something you'd be able to do. We just need to kind of be in the downtown Seattle area for the thing that we are doing, which will be going and attending the premiere of my friend, Demi X Camo. I am, I'll be going for my friend Mia Moore's premiere of her film again, which again, if you haven't checked out yet on the channel, I have an interview with her. Wait, just so when I get canceled and DD talk shit about me, they can't say they look puffy. Taylor Lorenz had awful takes on AI on her podcast last week. I need to reach out to Taylor. I wanted to interview her about something, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, no. Oh, hey, we got a raid. Devin Deadhouse, hello. Wait, where are you? There we go. Oh no, my hair's just in a ponytail. Let me. Speaking out. I don't. Is that no? I want real. Oh no, I know it. It's the Charlie Kirk show. Hang on. Oh, they still have fucking shit dropping on the Charlie Kirk channel? What the hell? The left's violence machine must be broken, y'all. Okay, hang on. Let me get this on the main feed. Yeah, this is from, okay. I guess I didn't understand that they can't let all those hot 5.75 million subscribers go to waste. They have to put out new stuff. But who are these fucking schmucks?
Oren McIntyre joins us.
Whoa, buddy, a little loud.
He's from Blaze TV. He's got a great show, great follow on X, great thinker. Oren, you and I were texting. I mean, it just feels like this problem is something we've kicked down the road. As a can we keep kicking down the road, and we're not dealing with an underlying issue of what we've allowed to be.
Okay, so I guess Real America's Voice is that. Okay.
Normalized, and the longer we put it off, the more radical the solution becomes. Your thoughts, Oren?
Yeah, I think this is obviously correct. Donald Trump has received many different death threats and assassination attempts from very early on. And of course, these have only accelerated with the level of permissiveness that we've seen. Obviously, I don't need to tell anybody on the Charlie Kirk show about the horrific nature of left-wing violence and the incredible...
Fucking crazy. That is such a weird way. Like, that's kind of a joke. Dustin the Damned, thank you for 25 months in a row. Hello. Demix Camera, thank you so much. I will check that out when I am off air. Thank you very much for reaching out, by the way. Woof. Yeah, that's very silly. I want to go see the Erika Kirk thing, though. So I guess this is probably it.
You give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
If you disagree, come to the front.
My God.
The line. If you disagree, go to the front of the line. You guys know how it works. You disagree, you can go to the line. We'll have a great conversation here.
Who are you?
My name is Charlie Kirk, and
what the fuck is this, man? Oh, are we running it back? Are we doing the
I love America.
Why are you here?
Because I love talking with people I disagree with.
What have you done for your country?
Started an organization that's now in 1,000+ campuses.
God, he really was the fucking worst. He really was. Like, I feel like now that we've had enough time, everything's settled a little bit more. Even in hindsight, I think even I was like, I was too gracious with my okay, let's tone stuff down, because holy shit, he was the worst. It's so loud compared to me. Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. There we go.
Is to save the greatest culture and country ever to exist. I loved talking to people I disagree with.
Like, he's just a fucking dork, dude. Like, yeah, I think America is the greatest country to ever exist, and I love talking to people, even though I'm going to talk over you and then clip you out of context. And you're going to be in a million lib-owned compilations, and I'm going to go on my podcast and be disingenuous as shit. But no, you just love talking to people. Fuck off.
When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens.
It seems to me that...
Oh, he was on that Tim Pool shit.
nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world. Our country has become unrecognizable. These people have perverted the truth to the point that they motivated the murder of my husband.
Myself up.
They've continuously tried to assassinate the president, and anyone who stands in their way is labeled hateful.
She got so like this shit got to her. She put on like she still has makeup on, but the least amount of makeup she's worn since she was like probably 17. This is crazy.
Racist, fascist, and every other trigger word that is grossly dishonest. We want the best for our country.
Trigger word.
They don't.
Trigger, really, Erika? Making jokes at a time like this, using trigger word as a pun. Erika, I thought more of you. El Salvi, thank you. Holy shit. Thank you so much for 5 Dead Domain memberships. I appreciate it. You're gonna run out of people to give memberships to at this rate.
This is why Charlie started Turning Point USA in the first place. He didn't trust the radicalized liberal teachers. And this past Saturday,
which is why he had to debate the students instead of the people who actually knew shit. Yeah, why don't they ever, like, again, not bringing up a new or novel point by any stretch, but the idea of going to a college campus, a place where you're meant to facilitate debate and knowledge and have this great cultural exchange of ideas and all this shit. And going there and then just plucking out the people who don't know as much shit to argue against. Like, not the, the people who are still, yeah. I would love to see some of them argue against teachers sometime. Like, I would really love to see, I would really love to see somebody like Matt Walsh argue against a fucking professor. Is all I'm saying.
It was a school teacher, of all people, a school teacher that attempted to change our history for the worst with bullets. And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me. And I wanted to meet some of them face to face, quite frankly. Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me? So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss."
No, she is. Her fit is so weird. It's so nondescript. It's so, like, the first thing I thought when I saw it was Sarah Connor in T2, but it does kind of look like I've seen Nostalgia Critic a little bit. I've seen Antifa, like it is just straight up black bloc. I think there's something written on the cap, but I can't make it out.
To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself." And I said to her, "You know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I find it so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up, and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech. And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you." To which she replied, literally, she said, "I know. Isn't it special, right? Isn't tonight so special?"
Fucking... Is there a term? There's got to be some arcane Germanic term for when one psychopath discovers a different kind of psychopath and they look at that person and they're like, you're fucking crazy. And the other person is looking at them like, you're fucking crazy. Like that. These are two people who are not fit for public life if they think and approach these things this way. But Jesus Christ. El Salve, thank you for $2. Want to see me do it again? I appreciate all donations, but don't forget to give to Kari at the link that's pinned over on YouTube, please.
And following that conversation, it was time to take our seats, and we went to the big ballroom where the dinner was. And one of the first things I noticed when I walked into that room was quite literally the proximity of the opposing outlets to one another. So you have one table here that's Politico, and another table here that's Fox, and another table here that's WAPO, and you're all crammed together, elbow to elbow. And to make the night even more of a spectacle, every single 10-person table had 10 bottles of wine. And the president of the White House Correspondents Association, she did a great job of trying to make the evening have that feeling of Americana.
Did they just...
You know, we were in a room celebrating freedom of speech.
Did they just fucking keep this poster of Charlie, may Charlie be received into the merciful arms of Jesus, our loving Savior? Like, do they just record in there every day with that? That's fucking creepy. That's bizarre.
About our differences, and the U.S. Marine Band performed the national anthem so beautifully, and then shortly thereafter, gunshots rang out and total chaos ensued, and you guys have all seen what happened next because there are 1,000 videos of it. So let's discuss that fact for a second. If you were in that room, you had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was, how many there were, or honestly really anything. It was just utter chaos. And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips. They were so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot. Many of those people had become so desensitized that fight or flight became secondary to the opportunity of putting themselves...
Okay, first off, as other people have noted, it was not right outside. And yes, that is the job of a journalist. It's not about like, oh, are you so desensitized? Like, no, dude, if there's a scoop to fucking get and you are in the story, it is your duty as a journalist to document that. Like, this is the one time I could probably objectively look at something people like WAPO, New York Times are doing and be like, yeah, that's actually doing the fucking job. That's the job description. What? El Salve, thank you very much for another 5.
Into the story, which ironically breaks the #1 rule of journalism. And again, ironically enough, the shooter was...
Girl, you cannot be out here saying things with it. Oh, she's so fucking stupid. For those who don't know, you aren't. Yeah, you're not supposed to put yourself in the story. But that doesn't mean you don't record what's happening. It means you do not force your own perspective into a story. You report from a different angle, not from your own perspective. The idea... Do I think she thinks journalism is the prime directive? 100 fucking %. I think she absolutely thinks that. Holy fuck. Who is El Salve? Thank you again. Little Eepy Girl, thank you for 2 months. Can't pay informants and can't do active reporting on something happening where they actively and currently were. Well, I think it's just more of her wanting to try and she's reaching hard for this argument that, like, we've become so desensitized that even when these things happen, but it's like, okay, do you feel that way about school shootings? Person who should probably have stronger opinions about school shootings? Like, do we really want to talk about like, okay. Hey, no. You do not. Not with my Paddington blanket. That is not for you, dog. No. Lady. No.
As a teacher, you have these people who are supposed to be teaching our children the future of this country, and he's so unhinged that he is able to teach children by day and then attempt to murder the president of the United States by night. And in his manifesto, he starts by contextualizing himself by saying, I am a citizen of the United States of America. And while we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country, I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens.
Oh, okay.
This is what got my husband killed.
Careful. Big
This
words
is what
you're
has
swinging
led
around
to
there, girl.
3 legitimate attempts on President Trump's life. And I can speak firsthand to that unbearable toll that this must take on our First Lady. There has never been a president who has faced this many assassination attempts in America's entire history. And after each one, the reaction from the far left has been, at best, a shrug, and in some cases, a sick disappointment that the shooter was.
Have y'all considered, again, this is the reasons why nobody cares is because as people keep trying to kill this fucker, A, nobody actually got that close to doing it. Thomas Crooks, well, except for Thomas Crooks. B, and probably the more important part, is that life keeps getting worse for everybody outside of your little fucking theater, dude. Like, out here, people are fucking struggling. Not living off the donations from your podcaster boyfriend, podcaster husband getting shot at a school. Like, I know conservatives understand the concept of social murder. I know they do. Because these are all the people who will also advocate for death penalty for pedophiles and shit. But they don't actually follow through with it, is the problem.
Unsuccessful. We are all human beings. And if you can just pause and just.
Again, this rhetoric, this idea of, hey, you know what, you got to really take into, like, we're all human. We all bleed the same blood, man. Like, hey, this kumbaya bullshit pisses me off most days. But when it comes from the party that over the last 6 months watched multiple people be shot in the streets and defended it, immediately called them terrorists, that is now basically has already declared war on Cuba. Fucking we didn't get enough votes to shoot down the resolution for military action. That flattened a fucking school of innocent children in the Middle East as part of a completely unprovoked and unwarranted war of aggression that has fucked the oil economy all over the world. Nehemia, thank you very much for $5. Hey, give us a break. We're trying to make Trump as open-minded as Abraham Lincoln and JFK. Peppy Hair 66, thank you for $5. Went to the journalist event and all the journalists were doing journalism. Are they stupid or something? And like, if this was anybody else, it would still give me pause. But the fact that it is her, and the fact that she is trying to defend this shit, it's fucking weak, dude. It's weak.
Take a minute and ask yourself, how would you feel if even just one person made cruel jokes about the attempted murder of your loved one? That is what Jimmy Kimmel did to the First Lady. He said that she had the glow of an expected widow. The glow of an expected widow. Just 48 hours before that nightmare almost became a reality. And this culture we're living in absorbs disagreement as a form of personal betrayal. It turns having an opposing viewpoint into a moral crime worthy of punishment. And here's what I've realized.
That's literally what people are trying. Like, today, as she's saying this, like, you can't have a different viewpoint. They fucking condemned. They had a House resolution to condemn Hassan for anti-Semitism. What the fuck are you talking about?
As through all of this, truly, having lived through quite literal hell these past 7 months, if you strip someone of their humanity long enough, you will arrive at the chilling conclusion that they don't deserve to exist at all. Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have...
No, you don't, girl.
Comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have...
Oh, she said that. I've never heard... That's crazy. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I didn't know you could say whiteface with a hard W. That's fucking crazy. Anime Mega Freak, thank you for $2. Mega sold their souls for all the 7 deadly sins. And not even like, you know, cool versions of them. Persephone Patria, thank you for 30 months. I've been a sub for 30 months. Well, I was a sub before that too, but thank you. That's crazy.
People saying I'm not fit to be CEO, and I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on. There is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country. The most unthinkable tragedies have now become commonplace in our daily headlines, and yet the media finds a way to conveniently explain away violence. This is what we're up against. This is what we're up against. What is happening right now is something none of us can afford to ignore. The evil forces working to divide us, to distract us, and to pull us apart has never been stronger. This is a moment for Americans to come together and decide what kind of country we are going to be before we lose our country altogether. In Romans chapter 12, verse 21, it says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And this is why my husband created Turning Point USA, so we could have civil discourse and debate and open dialogue, because when we stop talking to each other, bad things happen. I am choosing to fight for America, for my children, for your children, and for our humanity, because we all need to do our part. And by the grace of God, we will succeed, and America will remain what she was always called to be, a shining city on a hill, a light to the world. So let me give you a perfect example of how it's done. My husband did it best and left us the blueprint on how to have uncomfortable conversations with those who disagree. Buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
So my stance today is on immigration.
Oh my fucking God, dude. All of this was for... It's a fucking lead-in to just 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Just, it's all... Fuck off. That's crazy. That's wild. Oh, man. Where the hell did that go? I just had a... That's upsetting. I'm going to be honest. That is upsetting, chat. Me no likey. Charlie Kirk destroys woke students. Brr. Yeah. All right, let's... What else do we got? Oh, yeah. So... what else was there? I have the... Look at that real quick. All right. Oh my God. Oh wait, I guess I can't do that. All right, there we go. Nope, shit. All right. Sorry, I want to make sure that this had the thing I wanted. All right. So today, Musk's lawyer arguing in his opening statement. Elon Musk's legal team Tuesday told a jury that the billionaire had sued OpenAI on moral principle. Fucking bullshit. It's unbelievable how much of his shit is still... Like, it's so fucking obvious. Moral... You don't have a moral bone in your body. You vociferous fucking vampire. Ugh. For the benefit of all mankind. Elon Musk sued OpenAI because he, quote, didn't get his way, the company's lawyers argued in their opening statement on Tuesday. That sounds closer to the truth. The company in 2018 of power struggle, and Mr. Altman transformed the company by tacking on a for-profit arm. All right. Sam Altman arrived at courthouse through the security reasons. Most controversial and overexposed men in the world is suing another man who is equally unsympathetic and equally inescapable. Just walked through the front doors of the courthouse, holding hands with his wife. Benches are slowly filling up. Harry Emanuel. Always intended to be a nonprofit. All right, let's move forward a little bit. Here we go. If there was a decision I thought was very bad, I could stop it from happening. Yes, because only these people who know nothing about the shit that they make. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so it's a moral standing, huh? Not the fact that you feel that you, quote, I gave them 38 million of essentially free funding to create what would become an $800 billion company. Fuck off. Here we go. All right. Much smarter than OpenAI. Musk, oh, he's fucking cooked in this. Holy shit. Acknowledge that XAI, okay, but XAI was founded as a traditional for-profit, but it's not a problem the problem occurs actually when you create a non-profit and turn it into a for-profit, actually. Over 2 days of testimony, Musk has found many ways to call Altman versions of disingenuous. Lawsuit several years earlier, Musk replied, I would have filed the lawsuit sooner if I thought they had stolen the charity sooner. What the fuck does that mean? Showing how Musk became upset about OpenAI's for-profit journey. OpenAI has argued that Musk only filed his lawsuit after establishing his own XAI and that OpenAI was a rival. What's happening with Tyler? What happening with Tyler Robinson? What about Tyler Robinson? I don't know. What is happening with Tyler Robinson? Oh, it would be funny if he only got 25 years. Yeah, that would actually be kind of a best case scenario, I feel, for that level of assassination. Like you get out and he was what? He was in his 20s. He'll still be spry. Do some push-ups on the inside. He'll be fit as a fiddle when he gets out. He'll be fine. Last I heard, the case wasn't sticking for Tyler. Rough business. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I don't know what that sound is, lady. FBI will lose to bees? Tobies? All right. Mr. Yanu, thank you for following. All right. There's an irony to his argument OpenAI should return to its nonprofit status. On Friday, he shared a post that suggested without evidence that 90% of nonprofits were scams. He also reposted a clip over the weekend in which a Silicon Valley venture capitalist, David Sachs, said that, quote, nonprofits need to manufacture problems in America to stay in business. Jesus Christ. Musk said earlier he donated $38 million. Savitt pointed out that Musk said under oath in an earlier deposition he had donated a total of $100 million. Musk has started to become combative. Musk has grown increasingly annoyed at Savitt. Oh God. I fucking wish I could. I wish I could watch that little worm squirm. You're being misleading, Musk said of Savitt's questioning, which I know is just like regular fucking. I know at this point, it has to be just regular lawyer questioning. In another retort, Musk said, the classic answer to a yes or no question is not so simple. For example, if you ask the question, will you stop beating your wife? The judge cut him off. No, we're not going to go there. What a fucking scumbag. So is he just accusing? It wouldn't surprise me if he's trying to accuse somebody without any evidence of beating their wife. Huh. Oh yeah, Ronald Reagan's assassin is out and has a music career. Well, tell him we need one more job. Musk is now starting to respond with yes and no. OpenAI was triggering event that AI needed to step things up. Much weight the TikTok. Dota at the time, Google engineer consider it. Why? Like it's a game with a limited number of rules that you can that I am not like. Is there not already AI in Dota? Is there not already like are Dota players unaware we already have robots what you fight against in video games? It must be super fucking impressive or something. Used for-profit company, whatever. After beginning to ask a question, Savitt apologized and wanted to rephrase it, commenting that wasn't a fair question before starting over. Musk, amused, said, I find it funny you said it was an unfair question since you're only asking unfair questions. Savitt, taken aback, said he was doing his best. Musk responded, that is not true. Many in the courtroom laughed, perhaps nervously. What a shitbag. Oh, I would love... Oh, putting the screws to this motherfucker must feel so good. I know that sounds good. Someone who wants to wield outsized influence over his companies in order to have complete control, a point made to undercut Musk's continuous assertions that no one should be in control of OpenAI, and certainly not in control of artificial intelligence. Performance at Tesla, and why Musk told analysts that his performance should result in a larger pay package with more shares in Tesla. What Savitt noted or tried to tease out was a hint of hypocrisy. Savitt said that Musk told analysts that he needed more Tesla shares so he could have significant influence over the AI robot army that Tesla is building. God, I hate this fucker. I could not talk about SpaceX because the company is about to go public, and the Security and Exchange Commission has forbidden him from discussing the company prior to the IPO. Calling his questions definitionally complex. That means he doesn't know what words mean. Lady, stop it. Now Altman, Savitt, blah, blah, blah. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. He genuinely just, like, here's the problem. Elon Musk genuinely just has enough power that he can be a belligerent child and go through life like this because there is nothing he thinks can actually stop him. And he's probably right, based still on his proximity to Trump. Whether he read the document in full, Musk responds that he got the gist by reading the top of the document. Savitt seems to be intentionally pressing Musk to get under his skin. It appeared to be working. Yeah, no shit. Reminding the jury of Musk's association with Donald Trump. Musk has closely associations with Trump and David Sachs, who advised the president on AI. Stands trial, end of its third day. Appeared Musk's lawyer has wizened to Savitt's strategy of associating Musk with Trump. Musk's counsel argued that the billionaires' association is not relevant. All right. Jesus. Yahoo! All right, there we go. That is it for the day, or it for at least that. Let me really quick. I'm gonna go plug something in so I can watch it because we have a hour-plus documentary about the NIFB hate church. Of course, if you've watched the channel for a while, you've watched a lot of my content. You're probably familiar with my history with the church. This was a documentary that I didn't help out a lot with it. But there should be some of my footage in here, and I'm looking forward to what it looks like when everybody else, all the other Andersons, got involved. Alrighty. All right, give me 1 second, and I will be right back. I'm going to plug something in so we can game and watch, just like Nintendo. a second. Let me make sure my audio is still. Sorry. All right, let me. We get to do this. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Grinner, thank you very much. DD, I hope you know you're super cool. I linked your stuff to a friend of mine, and now she links it to me whenever it pops up in her notifications. That's funny. All right, let's see if... Aha! There we go. We're gonna... All right, let's try this out. Hey, that's not a PS2. No, I've been playing PS2 games on this, though. Koa's been playing some games, too. All right. Camington Bear, don't scroll down on what? All right, let me... So there was that, and then... Is there not? All right, let me see if I can just get a window capture in here. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Yeah, I think we'll rock it like this. Yeah, that'll be fine. Sorry. Wait, yo, oh, hey, yo, Ethan the Lycan, really? Hey, yo, I don't know why I went. That just brought the Brooklyn right out of me. Like, hey, yo, somebody said Injustice 3 over here. Did they really say that? Come on, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Injustice 3 in the works. I mean, so for me, I care more about... Did I play 100 Exorcist? I didn't get to it before the PS2 thing. No, that's just been sitting there. No, that whips. That's awesome. Really quick, sorry, I'm still setting stuff up. El Salve, thank you for... How much did you... God damn. Thank you for another 10. Thank you, El Salve, for keeping my lights on this month. Have I played Alone in the Dark? Which one? The classic? Or the classic. The original, the Xbox 360 one, or the most recent one? Julia Rowell. So is Erika Kirk a Black Widow gold digger, and is she going to put a hit on JD Couchfucker first? I mean, maybe. Camington Bear, don't scroll down on Twitter. It will be a catastrophe. Oh. I mean, it's a good post. I guess we don't need to be here anymore. I mean, it was... Hey, look. It was my bookmark, so... Will you be playing Alone in the Dark with that also? Do I still collect Transformers figures? Not really. I've gotten rid of a lot of... And in fact, I have a friend... who just bizarre happenstance, their dad runs one of the local kind of collectible stores in town, and I'm looking to get kind of the last of my stuff. When Koa and I move, I want to be able to just kind of pick up and go and leave, not have a whole bunch of shit to take with us. All right, let us then go to this, and I think that should be good. Let me see if that plays the sound correctly. All right, how is the audio balance here? Can everybody hear it okay? Horrible jerk. I liked your Devastator video I found randomly from 3 years ago. Yeah, most of the stuff I've just taken down the toy channel mostly. Like there's a couple videos that are still up, like the one there are the two that are like tutorials for toy photography I've left up, but I don't know. I like I had my time doing photography and stuff, and now I am because that's really why I got into collectibles and toys for a minute there. It was photography. Like I just love setting things up. I love working with props. And now I'm kind of funneling that into like I have visual art that I make now, Anyway. All right, perfect. Let's find a game to play. All right, make sure that I'm not going to get any. All right, perfect. Nobody can hear this. Perfect. We're good.
Isaac Anderson's Scene 2, Take 1, Mark.
So many people experienced your dad's influence.
There was a toy channel. Oh my gosh, this is now this is Vesper lore. Yeah, no. For about 2 years. No, not even. It wasn't even a year actually. When I was just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with like the channel, I tried to do. It was just like a toy action figure review channel where I would mostly get like, cheap ass clearance toys because I was poor as fuck, and do reviews on them and did little skits and shit. But I do not have the time for that kind of nonsense these days. No, I started playing Devil May Cry 3 on I started actually playing this on PlayStation 2. But I don't want to go through the rigmarole of hooking up the PS2 because the Xbox One's easier. So I'm just going to pick up from wherever I was playing, which I do not even know. Yeah, Occult Classic Toys is, and I think there's still some. It's not like I'm hiding it or anything. I just I haven't posted there in a long time. Oh, no, I don't want to. Yeah, there we go. And I do not understand where the fuck 1.23k subscribers came from. I think just like I haven't maintained this in so long, it still has my old name. Yeah, I think that might just be the only 3 videos that are. Yeah, these are the only 3 videos that are left on there. That's crazy. And the things I have on there are just like a toy, a lighting tutorial, and then this one is like original or using multiple points of lighting. The Anime Mega Freak, thank you very much for $5. It's irony for me that I can beat Soulsborne games with suck at survival horror combat, so I play easy mode. It's not for everybody. I mean, like I get it. I think my partner is the same way. My partner is always like every now and then they'll just be like, Hey, babe, I just beat Hades on Hell mode. Hey, babe, I just beat Hades 2 on Hell mode. Like, they are, when it comes to Hades, they can play that shit. I cannot play it at their level. But then, like, horror games, they can't, they don't have that lock-in juice. All right.
It's all over the world. But what was your experience of him at home?
I really...
Juno, dear, my toys always look cool because they're mine. Dang. Dang, got me.
Only realized things were different when I started working 14 or 15 and started getting out of the house more. That's when I first realized things weren't normal.
In my experience, he was very hypocritical. While branding himself to be someone who didn't care what others think, nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, I'd say his public persona is definitely much different than how he is at home when he's not on camera or in front of his congregants.
Obviously, he puts forth the image of that he's a very masculine, traditional man, strong, he's loving, he's a loving father, caring husband, and the reality isn't really that.
With my dad at home, he was an extremely angry, abusive, and
So, if y'all don't know, this is... Did I miss El Salves Dono? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wait, that was 2 minutes ago. Oh, my God. Yes, it was. Holy shit. Sorry. I totally missed that. Thank you for $30. The age of the manosphere is over. The time for the Vesper matriarchy is upon us all. Surrender to Slaanesh. I need to get more into Warhammer and stuff again. I love that hair. John, yeah, John's really cool. John's a cool dude. No, it's weird seeing all of them because this was filmed. So this was filmed. Oh, it was over a year ago because it started production a couple months after I interviewed them, and it turned into a kind of controversy in the church. Jackie Zins, thank you for $5. Should I call him Steve God, the demon pastor of Yeet Street? Steve Odd, the demon pastor of Yeet Street. I like Yeet Street. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
dangerous person.
I mean, in a single phrase.
Wild Antic, am I going to make it to the showing for Again? You betcha. Yeah, I was just talking about how Co and I are going to be going over to Seattle from the 11th to the 16th. I'm just waiting on finalizing the details of kind of where I'm going to stay, but we will be there. And yeah, I'll be hanging out with Mia Moore and whoever else. I'm sure I'll see plenty of other movies there. I'm so excited. It's not much, but I think like I might end up just kind of taking like a 2-day vacation, and I think that'll be my like time off to lock back in when I get home. Yeah, no, Geoduck Geoscience. This is a documentary that I was briefly consulted on. And from what I understand, by the way, this is the Solomon Anderson, I think, is the femboy one, if I'm remembering correctly. The one that what we saw a AI. I will let, yeah, where's NIFB? The NIFB is usually here.
I would say he made me who I am today, for better or worse.
So I do also, this is somebody who used to work with Steven Anderson, I believe. Or am I thinking of Royal Guard? Fuck, I might be thinking of Royal Guard. Oh, man. Oh, I think, okay, no, I remember that now. I hadn't seen Miriam's short hair, which is like such a big fuck you to Steven. That is such a massive middle finger to her father, and I love it. The NIFB and the culture of gender around it, I don't think people give enough credit to how vicious they adhere to that. Like, it is, they aren't fucking around when they talk about how fucking angry they get when they see a woman with short hair. Like, that is like never talk to family member again type shit. God damn. Oh, I don't even have an air hike. What the fuck?
Test is about to begin. Please remain still.
Oh my gosh, the DJG, my family is in Steven's sect, and I've been in no contact with them for at least 14 years. Oh, I'm getting fucking worked. That's crazy. What was the middle finger to her dad? Draxus, the cutting her hair. Thank you very much, Survivor. I appreciate it. Yeah, she has a really short haircut now.
Pastor's rise and fall, and the ruin that waits whenever any man takes the place of God in our heart.
Have it done a Dante cosplay? No, because I haven't really had the hair for it until this year, honestly. I've kind of thought about it. I have a bunch of other cosplays I'm working on in the meantime. I have so many I'm working on right now. I think the one I really want to get done in time for summer is Eivor from Assassin's Creed, the femme version, and Testament from Guilty Gear as well.
It looks at Pastor Steven Anderson and the new IFB movement, exposing a hidden world of manipulation, control, and abuse. To many, he seemed like a bold, unapologetic preacher. Behind closed doors, he ruled through fear, violence, and psychological torment. Through the first-hand accounts of his 4 oldest children, we finally see who this
Raiden cosplay. I've thought about doing Raiden really quick while we're taking detours. I just want to do a Raiden Metal Gear Solid 2 cosplay, which would necessitate making the whole fucking suit. Like, I could take an undersuit, but I would have to make, like, the ribbing and stuff. And there's been some really fucking cool cosplays I've seen. El Salve, thank you for $10. I'm going to sleep now. Keep the Soros Empire going. Thank you very much, brave soldier. Have a good night.
This man really is. His story isn't unique.
Travenoid, this is DMC3. You best put some respect on this shit.
Untouchable and leave scandals and shattered churches behind. When the man in the pulpit grows bigger than the message, the people who trusted him pay the price.
I don't have like half the fucking moves unlocked.
Story. But the fall only makes sense once you understand the rise. How he became a man some would fiercely trust and defend, while others felt compelled to warn people about him. Faithful Word Baptist Church began in Tempe, Arizona in 2005. But it wouldn't be until 2009.
Ekachu, thank you for $4.99. Hi, I'm on mobile. I was in and out. Is there a link where donors are preferred today? Yes, over on YouTube. It should be pinned in the chat, I believe.
That Anderson suddenly broke into
but
the
thank you
national
very
conversation.
An Arizona pastor tasered at a border checkpoint after.
Like, look, it is. No, this is from the collection. It is. I understand as somebody who's made similar documentaries, depicting it, like treating the source material, treating the real life events and the people on which these incidents are based and that happened is very serious, and you need to treat it seriously. However, it is very funny that they have to treat such a inherently ridiculous thing with these serious fucking kid gloves.
Refusing to step out of his vehicle, had his camcorder rolling.
Like they have the fucking they played the whole thing. They have the fucking all right, I'll throw that up on the big screen for everybody. So y'all can relive with me hate preacher Steven Anderson, who's called me, by the way, like a spawn of the devil and of Satan and all that shit. Getting tased.
Rolling.
They wanted to search my car without a warrant. They wanted to interrogate me.
InfoWars, Jesus Christ, man. Alex talks with Pastor Stephen L. Anderson, who was brutalized by the Border Patrol for insisting they respect the Fourth Amendment. Great.
I refused to answer questions.
Now, you were explaining to them that this was a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
That is, god damn, he looks different. That's crazy. I don't like that's fucking I guess no, that's real fucking years on you. That's real stress. Am I Hellspawn from Todd McFarlane's Spawn now? I don't know much I've never really gotten it to Spawn.
Absolutely, repeatedly.
2004 footage.
Again, later that year, he
Damn.
drew national attention with a sermon titled, Why I Hate Barack Obama.
The fiery words of this pastor have set off waves of anger and disappointment throughout Phoenix.
Can I go back like 5 seconds of the doc? Because that angle of Anderson's picture makes him look like Bizarro John Cena. Which one? Oh, that one? Oh, you're not wrong. That's crazy.
Now, you were explaining to them that this was a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Absolutely, repeatedly.
Again, later that year, he drew national attention with a sermon titled, Why I Hate Barack Obama.
The fiery words of this pastor have set off waves of anger and disappointment throughout Phoenix.
Obama.
I hate Barack Obama. You say, well, you just mean you don't like what he stands for.
No, oh god, yeah. Oh, yeah, Persephone Paturi. It's the same. I'm surprised Steven Anderson didn't do the whole, the fucking Rush Limbaugh, Barack Hussein Obama. Like that fucking, Which Alex Jones still does do.
I am not going to take back what God said thousands of years ago. When I go to bed tonight, Stephen L. Anderson is going to pray for Barack Obama to die and go to hell.
His words are so hateful. They're so outrageous.
His charismatic, no-nonsense style drew people in, some who loved him and others who despised him.
We are deeply disturbed by Pastor Anderson's bigotry.
Today, leaders...
Spear Griefer, thank you for following and subbing with Prime. Have you ever played Ace Combat? I played back when I had a PSVR years ago, which I haven't had VR forever. I played a little bit of that Ace Combat game in VR, in the VR mode, and that was neat. That was cool. God, that was fucking crazy. Being able to look up and yeah, that was actually pretty neat.
Of the Anti-Defamation League and other religious clerics joined together to condemn a controversial Tempe pastor for his latest stunt after he preached hateful speech against gays and lesbians, suggesting at the pulpit that they should be put to death.
Everybody's talking about, let's have an AIDS-free world by 2020, or let's have an AIDS-free... Look, we could have an AIDS-free world by Christmas.
And this guy is a perfect case of the American Taliban.
No homos will ever be allowed on this church as long as I'm the pastor here. Never!
Those hateful words are from the mouth of a Tempe pastor preaching that God's word says that killing gay people is the only way to get rid of AIDS by Christmas.
They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And that, my friend, is the cure for aid. If hating homosexuals makes our church a hate group, then that's what we are.
What do you think homosexuals should do then?
Kill
Come on, don't get
themselves,
stuck here,
as far as
Dante.
I'm
Come on.
concerned. Because they're horrible, wicked people. They're just gonna keep molesting and destroying people. So I don't have any advice for homosexuals except to put a bullet in your own head so that you don't molest my kids or anyone else's kids.
God, he's such a fucking scumfuck. Insane Christian Linus Tech Tips. Oh man, that edible's hitting nicely. I could not imagine watching this stream on an edible.
Let me give you a little quote for the evening news, buddy. I hate all homos and I wish they would all die.
Why is the... It's skipping. All right, let me see if I can... No, it's still doing...
His sermons,
there we go.
And later a series of documentary films expanded...
Oh my God, they sold it on Alex Jones. That's fucking crazy. I never knew.
And later a series...
I never knew they fucking sold this shit on InfoWars. That's fucking crazy, dude. I'm like 1 degree away from Alex Jones knowing who I am. That's fucking nuts. These scumfucks, by the way, are still... I want to say somebody just told me they just had another spot on InfoWars.
Series of documentary films expanded his reach, turning him into a recognizable force in Christianity. While many pastors feared going viral, Anderson welcomed it, loudly attacking a world and churches he claimed were drifting woke. As his profile rose, governments around the world pushed back.
Okay, he's not the fucking Joker here. Okay, we can the fucking like the fucking Modern Warfare 3 score. You can tone it down just a little bit. Violet Left, thank you very much for 200 bits. Real NIFB parody. Oh hey, we were just talking about you. Shelley just went back on InfoWars. Yep, Jonathan Shelley. And Violet Left, thank you for again for 200.
Multiple countries denied him entry or deported him over hate speech, eventually leaving him banned from more than 30 nations.
How do you get banned from an entire country, huh?
I'm collecting country bands like some people are collecting Beanie Babies.
To governments.
This God, that is so fucking weird that he's been on Jesse's show, also like Destiny. What the fuck are we listening to? This is the documentary about the hate church that I infiltrated and later helped the kids who were featured in this documentary bring their stories forward about their shitbag abusive dad.
He was a problem to keep out. To his followers...
Lone Wolf Fang. I can only hope the Onion gets full ownership of InfoWars sooner than later with all the crazy shit going on. They'll pull some. So apparently Tim Heidecker was saying yesterday or today that tomorrow there is a big decision.
A persecuted preacher standing his ground.
Persecuted preacher.
Anderson was sharp,
amazing,
funny, and intensely charismatic. A scripture-heavy preacher with a near-photographic memory. For those tired of soft, shallow preaching, he sounded like a pastor with a backbone, and his services were lively and family-centered. His wife, Susanna, reinforced the image, presenting their home as one big happy family. On her blog, Are They All Yours? She shared life as a Christian, a mother of 12, focused on home education.
This is the worst fucking angle in the... Right,
hard preaching
I
in the
cannot
pulpit,
see shit, dog.
A thriving family at home. That combination created demand far beyond Tempe, and a network of like-minded churches began to form. Over time, that network became known as the new IFB.
Well, okay, so this is an anti-Anderson video. I should clarify that. They are doing the thing Which, like, again, I get it. Giving him his flowers, I just like, I believe this is more from a kind of Christian perspective. B Breadcrumbs, thank you for following, and Empress Cleo, thank you also for following.
Now let me start out by just defining some terms for you tonight. You might be here tonight and you don't even know what IFB even stands for. Well, that stands for...
Oh no, this wasn't in Spokane. The NIFB was the church I infiltrated, but it was a different. His church is based out of Arizona. There was an NIFB one in Spokane.
Independent Fundamental Baptist. In the previous generation, there was a great movement amongst Baptists known as the Independent Fundamental Baptist, but everything in this world ends up declining. So then, comes in the new IFB, which is basically a revival or renewal or resurgence.
Did I get turned around in this goddamn place?
You know why people are listening to the new IFB? It's because
this fucking. I remember this guy. Yeah, Bruce Mejia. One of the many. They're gonna show Shelley for sure. I bet. Because Mejia, Shelley, and Aaron Thompson are like his big three sycophants, and they are like his little Igors. They are fucking goblins that will follow and do whatever he wants. It's incredibly emasculating and not at all embarrassing for a bunch of grown men.
And that's what people are looking for.
Right. It's a new generation of young men getting up, understanding the times, and preaching boldly because they're filled with the Holy Spirit.
We do love the beliefs of the new IFB, and we are not changing. We never will.
You say, what do you think the new IFB is, Pastor Shelley? A church that looks like this. And so a church that doesn't look like this, not a new IFB to me. And you say, hey, where would you want to go to church, Pastor Shelley? Here.
People that are going to some of these old IFB type churches are just hiding. They're like, I really want to go to a new IFB church, but the problem is that I don't want to move, or I don't want to do
the real NIFB. I'm just looking at the chat and walking into these blades. The real NIFB parody. They're such sycophants as borderline romantic. TBH. Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. There is a. I don't know if it's full enough, because there's a lot of people who argue over the definition of cult, especially from this, and they'll always be like, oh, we're not cults. But the way that they fall in line for him borders on a cult-like obsession for sure. Okay, it's like that. Okay, it's going to be like that. All right.
this, or I don't want to do that. Look, there's 6,000 independent Baptist churches. I know that's true, but how many of them are actually worth going to?
Hey, you know what some people need to do? Some people need to risk and move to a good church.
You need to get into a new IFB church. You need to get plugged in.
You need to move. I would just make that the #1 priority. I would sacrifice everything else and get to a Bible-believing church.
As his sermons spread online, Faithful Word and the NIFB movement as a whole grew. But they didn't grow like most local churches, slowly reaching into their own neighborhoods. Instead, they built their congregations by recruiting people from all over the country through the internet. In Anderson's mind, there was no such thing as bad press. The more attention he got, the more likely someone, somewhere, would hear him and decide to follow. His sermons weren't limited to hot-button issues. Week after week, he presented a blueprint for what he called a truly biblical family. Clear authority in the home, strict expectations for children, and a defined approach to discipline.
I will spank my children because the Bible commands it. The Bible says...
Hey, what? What are you talking about? League is just misery. Oh, I'm being matched with humans. These are bots. These are vibrators taped to keyboards. What do you... What? Hey, what? Hey, what? This man is a blight on the greater Phoenix area. I'm kind of bummed. I went to Texas 2 years ago now to visit a partner at the time, and I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to go bother the NIFB church there.
That the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself will bring his mother to shame.
The Bible says, he that spareth his rod,
Oh, I've
hateth
already
his
been here.
son.
God damn it, I
But
knew
he
this
that
was the wrong
loveth
way.
him chasteneth him betimes. The Bible says, withhold not correction from the child. For if thou beatest
God,
him
I've
with the
heard all
rod,
this so
he shall not
much.
die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell. I don't care what anybody says about that. I don't care what anybody's opinion of that is. I don't care what extended family thinks about that. I don't care what the law says about that. The Bible says it. I'm going to be strong.
All right, give me
I'm
one
gonna be
second.
of good courage. I'm going to
What does NIFB stand for? New Fundamental Independent Baptist. They are a spinoff of the IFB, Independent Fundamental Baptist. So they're just like, we're not like those other girls. Boo.
The Bible says I'm not going to turn from the right hand to the left hand, and God is going to be with me.
In many churches, spanking is rarely discussed and even less often explained because specifics invite scrutiny. Many Christians still consider it biblical when it's measured and restrained. And at first, Anderson's teaching could sound familiar, like something you might hear in the average IFB church. He preached about
God,
it
this is
openly.
only, think about this. This is only episode 1. They put in fucking work on this.
And without apology. And to his followers, it didn't register as abuse. It
New
sounded
independent
like
femboys.
conviction.
But I'm not talking about abuse or anything. I'm talking about just a biblical spanking.
So when he thundered about discipline, they assumed correction, not harm.
The Bible preaches spanking. The Bible preaches that you discipline your children. That's what the Bible says. Not what is that what you think? Is that what you believe? No, the Bible said it. And if I don't preach the Bible, then I'm not even a man of God in the first place.
God damn, he's such a fucking
The red
psycho,
flags
dude.
were there, but for years, followers dismissed them, explained them away, or simply didn't want to see them. Then his 4 oldest children left home and began to speak.
Hey, that's me. Look at me. I'm on the, well, kind of on the TV. That's my channel. That's my channel. Hey, you.
And for many who had stood by him, something shifted. What once seemed unthinkable suddenly came into focus, and the image of a loving, devoted father shattered.
My parents raised 12 kids, and throughout the course of my childhood, myself and all of my other siblings within the home.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing, is that I ended up, with all the kids' approval, I ended up giving them the footage from our interviews, because I didn't have previously any footage that didn't have, like, you know, my chyrons, that wasn't edited, etc., etc.
Were heavily abused. I understand that the Bible does promote corporal punishment of children, and I understand that a lot of people watching this believe in that and practice that. When I say abuse, I'm not talking...
2 questions, AI narrator? I don't believe so. 2, what's the over-under on Steven Anderson being aggressively closeted? I don't think so, honestly. I'm gonna be so real. He doesn't strike me as... He strikes me as too genuinely committed. Like, I don't think this is like a... I don't think this is one of those examples of, like, oh, he hates gay people, so he has to be gay. Like, that is not my read on Steven Anderson at all. Real NIFB parody. I feel so bad for John. I think he's the most messed up. I would disagree. I think John is probably doing the best. At least, granted, I haven't talked to them all. I haven't talked to any of them in a long time. But I follow John on Instagram, and he seems to be living life. He seems to be having fun growing up. Like, I would actually say that, to me, Isaac seems like he probably had it worse. To me, Isaac seems like somebody who dealt with a lot and isn't quite sure how to emotionally process it. And I think that can be a lot harder for people.
About a good... good old-fashioned whooping. I got plenty of those as a kid. I deserve plenty of those. I'm talking about something a lot more dark, a lot more sinister, and a lot more harmful.
Oh, these fuckos.
The story first broke on a YouTube channel called Dead Domain, hosted by Jordan Black.
Oh, got my name wrong. It's okay. I think I was going by that at the time they started this.
A transgender creator from the very community Anderson had spent years condemning. For a pastor who built so much of his identity on preaching against people like Jordan, his own children choosing that space to tell their story was a reckoning in itself. In those interviews...
Yeah, people fucking... Yes. That... It did really bug me, and among so many other things. But when, Anderson and everybody else were forced to basically acknowledge the allegations against them in preaching, it did really genuinely bother me that they considered all of in these very serious conversations that they were like so hyper focused on, and they went to this transgender, and it's like there's so much more here. Like that's what you're fucking fixated on? God. I hope they don't misgender me. I think they just call me trans or by my name. I would appreciate that. It would be cool if they didn't, but we'll see.
His children spoke passionately and in detail about what they say happened inside the Anderson home while they were growing up. For longtime critics, it felt like grim vindication. And for many Christians looking on, the allegations themselves were a deep humiliation, an open contradiction of everything he claimed to stand for. For those who had followed him for years, this didn't feel like just another scandal. It felt like betrayal, like watching their trust in him split apart.
God damn it. I hate these fuckos.
Biblical discipline now faced accusations from his own children. What you're about to hear is their account of what those so-called biblical spankings were really like.
So what was the worst punishment that you ever sustained?
I mean, probably there were probably just numerous ones that would be, I guess, equal.
Yeah.
Just different times we got beat with the electrical cable, because that's when things got a lot worse. That would probably happen when I was around the age of 10.
So how many times did you get hit with one of those?
The electrical cable?
Yeah. Like
dozens.
Dozens?
Dozens. It happened constantly, so it's hard to say.
God damn. Oh, I forgot about the electrical cable. Casually dropping the electrical. Yeah, no, like when I'm talking about abuse, like it is not just mean words and spankings. Like these kids were fucking tortured. It's horrible. And I know, again, we like to poke and laugh at people like Steven Anderson, but he is a legitimate monster. He is a horrible pile of shit. All right. Sorry. Stephen L. Anderson declined to comment or be interviewed for the series. His statements are presented through excerpts from public available videos and his own social media posts and comments.
Beatings in our household could range from being beaten with a belt or a paddle to being beaten with an electrical cord.
It would have been about a 12-gauge extension cord and about 6 feet long, was folded over twice. The finished product is what, about 18 inches long, 2 loops of 12-gauge cord. I challenged someone to get beaten 15, 20 times with that. And my dad was not going light. He was swinging it fast enough to where it would whistle. So he was swinging that thing as hard as he could. And he wasn't just hitting us on the butts. We were getting hit on the back, but because it's two split things, you get hit across the back. You have like a loop, like a raised looping, like hematoma or welt on the back of your head. Your arms, your back. It would wrap around and get you across the stomach, the front of the legs. It was horrendous. The pain is unimaginable.
You would be hit on your...
Geoduck Geoscience, how is this man not in prison? Well, because nobody sued him. Because it's incredibly hard. I talk about this a bit in the interviews, especially the ones I did with Miriam, or the one I did with Miriam and our discussions after it of how hard it is to actually get child services. Like, basically, you can call child services on a household. They'll show up there. But unless somebody, like a child, is literally being violently assaulted in front of somebody, which of course, you know, they sweep everything under the rug and put on their best faces. Like there's nothing they do. It's fucking vile. Oh yeah, child services has shown up to their place many times. Many times.
Back, your neck, sometimes even your face.
Because with that electrical cord, there's really no way to aim it. It flops all over the place.
Especially when they were in a fit of rage and pretty much just trying to hurt you as much as possible.
Sometimes too, on smaller kids, it would wrap around. They'd have them on their stomach or on like the front of their legs. It would wrap around there because when you're hitting like a 7-year-old, they have a pretty small body. It hurt. It really hurt. It's thick, but it's thin. It's heavy, but it's light. It's hard and it's soft. So it's like the worst of every single world. And there's 4 of it, and there's loops on the end, and those loops would leave little like C-shape.
And by the way, this is Steven Anderson, biblical literalist, applying when you're like, how is this biblical? Because the Bible apparently tells somebody that you are able to whip your child with a cord. Because the cord, the reeds, the kind of sticks they used to use thousands of years ago, he wants to say is essentially the same as a electrical cord today. Like that's the thing he's willing to like wiggle a little bit on in biblical interpretation.
For weeks. I skateboard and I ride motorcycles. Broken a lot of bones. I know pain. And the electrical cord is to this day one of the most painful things I've ever experienced.
When you get hit with an electrical cord at 12 years old, you have no frame of reference for how bad that hurts. It just hurts to the point of pissing yourself.
It would leave bruising, it would leave cuts. Kids would be bleeding, and they would have marks for weeks afterwards.
It was extremely painful. It would leave these like red welt marks that would sometimes, you know, bleed.
And I remember my brother John was wearing this white undershirt, and this was like shortly after he was like beaten. And he was kind of like hunched over, and one of the scabs, I guess, had like opened up a little bit. Jesus. And so blood started trickling out of it, and I just remember watching his shirt slowly turn red in the shape of the stripe.
I was a little kid experiencing it.
God damn. I wonder where they got these pictures from.
A 16, 17-year-old. I was a little 8-year-old boy that tall. And I remember like you'd do something wrong and it'd be like, okay, cool, get in the cord. And I remember just like the second my mom was saying she was gonna, you know, breaking down crying and begging her not to. And it hurt for hours or even up to a couple days after.
I've been accused of abusing my kids for biblically disciplining them. Some of it has been, you know, embellishment and exaggeration. Some of it's just outright lies, not even based on a kernel of truth.
I believe that there's a lot of evil people that have taken advantage of Pastor Anderson and his children, and they're really manipulating his children again.
This was, by the way, part of the narrative when I came forward with their abuse stories. The narrative that somehow I was like this fucking like wishmaster, like this grand designer behind everything, that I had been manipulating these 4 people who I had never met and didn't know.
Tim,
the accusations made against me are stupid and absurd and ridiculous.
Spoken like somebody with no allegations.
Who's telling the truth in this situation? You have zero discernment.
I kind of wish, again, they are smartly for this audience, they are kind of leaving out me and our back and forth and a lot of stuff. But it is so funny that they're leaving out certain things, because part of their, if I'm remembering correctly, part of their rationale for why you shouldn't listen was only because of me, because of a trans person. Like, that was it.
Zero discernment.
I'm not abusing my kids. I'm not harming my kids in any way. I'm just giving them a normal biblical Christian spanking.
Talk about parading against a man of God wrongfully.
Because I'm not going to take responsibility for stuff that I didn't do. I'll be glad to take responsibility for my actions.
How dare you just believe your friend that's a man of God?
that's won hundreds
God,
of
I
thousands
hate
of
this
people to
fucko.
Christ,
This
that's
is
never
Jonathan
lied to you,
Shelley.
That's given tens of thousands.
Like, Jonathan Shelley, there's something to, like, peasant brain physiognomy. Because he is a just Cro-Magnon in any era. Just somebody who is entirely, every descendant, every person in the line they've descended from were utterly subservient in some way or another.
Thousands of dollars to your church.
I'm not going to just abandon my friend when he's saying I'm not guilty of these things. I did not do them.
Just because two people raise up a false witness
did I already
make the accusation true. Whatever happened to against an elder received not an accusation.
Oh, there's 3 witnesses. There's not 4.
Very fun. Whatever happened to receive not... Again, just saying basically like, hey, you're not supposed to criticize us. He always looks like he's in a comedy parody video of this kind of church. Like, every time it seems like a comical exaggeration in his delivery, but I guess that's him being... Oh, it's him being entirely serious. Thank you very much for 200 bits. Weren't some of the chuds aware of the abuse? I mean, they all are, to some extent. But it's... From what I understand, a lot of it came down to the fact that, like, a lot of other pastors either are afraid of him or treat their families the same way. Thank you very much, Nehemiah, for another 5. Personification of the word thunk. No, he is. He very much is. Like, even right now, he just looks like a doll.
I don't care.
You can have many liars.
And so here we are, we're trying to have a biblical family, and we've got this evil orchestrated attack on the family.
There's an attack on the family right now. There's an attack on marriage right now. There's an attack on child rearing right now. And you know who's at the spear of all that? Loudmouth women, repulsive women who can't seem to shut up.
Pastor Anderson is being persecuted hard. Harder than you can even imagine, harder than you even know. Horrible things that are evil are happening to him. And you know what? You should be praying for him instead of listening to all these false accusations.
They branded the allegations as lies, insisted Anderson's actions were biblical, and pointed to
Hey,
where the
Bob on
children first
Twitch.
went with their stories as proof they couldn't be trusted.
Point number 1, my accusers teamed up with a literal
Satanist. A literal Satanist, chat. Let's go. Come on, save for me now. Save for me now.
Satan-worshiping transvestite. Amen. Okay, and you know what? We can pretty much almost just close our Bibles and go home right now.
What'd I say?
Okay?
What'd I say?
Because anybody with a brain in their head knows that you don't go to Satan to tell the truth. You go to Satan because you want to tell lies.
Julia Rule, I have a question. Do you think Joel Osteen beats his kids? Joel Osteen doesn't give those kind of vibes, I think, but I would say, like, there is, like, I think anybody in the thrall of that kind of morality system can absolutely justify it. That I think is the problem.
If you're too stupid to figure out who's telling the truth, please get up and just leave right now. Just get out of your seat. The piano will begin to play. Would you come and get out of here?
Oh, here we go. Faithful Word Baptist Church. Christians are busy posting a new video from Dead Domain where the host is a man wearing makeup and in a flowery dress. His channel background is a lamb with a Satan symbol. It's a pentagram. What the fuck are you talking about? A Satan symbol. Go ahead and enjoy the lying, slanderous, look, you can't say the F slur, video, you bunch of phonies. Like, referencing the F slur, but then ending it on this fucking Leave It to Beaver ass, oh, you bunch of phonies. Come on, man. Silas the Raccoon, thank you for tier 1 for 3 months. So grateful to be part of this community and seeing how your work has led to terrible people being called out. Looking forward to the new feature-length video you got coming. Thank you. I'm actually really, I'm really happy with how it's coming out, honestly.
Because you know what? I'm not here to babysit retards.
How many times has my dad...
Sorry, I just completely forgot about that.
Hate his guts and hate God and hate everything about him and his church just because they have a big platform and they'll let him talk on air. So it's a pretty weak argument to go, oh, you're giving ammunition to the haters of God. No, my dad's giving ammunition to the haters of God.
I am not a normal preacher. I think that our ministry and our church over the last 20 years has been extraordinary, not normal. But most people, if their kids got mad at them and wanted to lash out and criticize them, they wouldn't have a platform to go on YouTube and say it to hundreds of thousands of people. The reason that they were able to go and have a platform to say it to hundreds of thousands of people was because I'm Pastor Anderson.
It's not my fault that they're ungrateful. It's not my fault that they are spoiled little brats. It's not my fault that they're butthurt about whatever it is that they're butthurt about and want to just be this rebellious punk.
You know how you talk about your children?
Has interviewed and been interviewed by people he would consider reprobate. So now why is it wrong of me to do that?
They all went to a transvestite open.
Oh, God, I fucking slayed in that video. Oh, hang on. I forgot my fucking look whipped so good. So good in that. Oh, the makeup. When Steven Anderson preached about me, I locked in for my makeup in a way I rarely am able to. Oh, I forgot how cunty I was in that.
Get reprobate. And you know why? Because God in his providence worked it out where my enemies were too stupid to actually attack me in a way that could even be seen as legitimate, but they all went straight at me in a way.
God damn. Also fucking. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah. Let me put that on the main. No, there we go. I guess it doesn't show as well, but this look is also a serve, if I do say so. If I do say so.
That could even be seen as legitimate, but they all went straight to literal Satan so that everybody who actually cares about the truth and what the Bible says will know that they're lying, because Satan is the father of lies.
When you have fags and reprobates.
I can't. I'm sorry. I fucking forgot. I forgot. So this is such a weird stream right now between like one of the emotional cores of one of the greatest PS2 games ever, and then just like me laughing at people calling me slurs. Come on, man.
And you're with them, you're probably on the wrong side.
You want to talk crap about a man of God, you're going to go on the YouTube channel of a literal transvestite.
Tranny? Wrong side. Interviews with trannies? Wrong side. Your opinion matches up with the tranny? Wrong side.
I mean,
just to be here for 9, you're too late. I've already depicted you as the screaming angry preacher and myself as the calm cunty dead domain.
Jordan was one of the biggest platforms we've got on. Those are the most viewed videos that we have. Whether or not Jordan wanted it to be doing the Lord's work, Jordan was doing the Lord's work, whether or not that was the intention.
And you say, well, there's a subsequent interview that's not on the tranny channel. Watch that. Hey, the fact that all three of them, the first place they went was to a literal transvestite, shows you the wickedness and the lies.
What I would say is just look, I know he says don't watch the tranny video, but then again, of course, if your best argument to why you're not a child abuser is attacking the sexual orientation of somebody who's interviewing the kid, that sounds like a personal problem. And I remember someone smarter than me once said, your mental delusions or your, cognitive biases or any like defects in your thinking are as smart as you.
Oh yeah, no, Raven G6667. I need to play more. I actually have Zone of the End. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll play some Zone of the Enders too.
And he's a smart guy. Whatever he's wrong about has a lot of brain power to work with. And most likely, his delusions are smarter than you. The only thing that I have on my side is that I'm just right.
The fact that your kids went to a train, I wouldn't have done that. I don't think that was the way to do it. But guess what? They did it. Now, can we have a conversation about what they brought up? Can we have a conversation about the accusations and the things that are being avoided?
Mm-hmm.
I can remember a time when my parents got very upset at me and my siblings over a joke that we had done. And my sister, who was probably 6 or 7 at the time. My dad beat her with an electrical cord. And not minorly either. Like, he, full force, beat her severely.
Have I seen the Hyperborean, the Nazi who believes Lord of the Rings is real history? No, but that somehow doesn't surprise me.
Kid when they broke it out, and I was like 12, 13. And they were using it on kids a lot younger than me.
Like, if you even have the smallest shred of integrity, you're not gonna have a 6-year-old child that's on the ground screaming and begging for mercy as you continue to beat them. As much as my dad deserves it, if somebody gave me the opportunity to beat my dad senseless with the cord, I wouldn't do it. It's barbaric. Even though he absolutely deserves it and so much worse, I wouldn't do it. If somebody else did it, I wouldn't feel sorry for him. But I wouldn't want to watch it. I wouldn't want to do it. It's disgusting. The thing's heated. It's not a matter of having a bad temper. It's just like there's something seriously wrong with you. I wish there was a video, and I'd love to find any of his just disgusting fans who still support him and sit down and force them to watch it. They'd probably be sick. I don't think they'd want to see it. It's horrible. I don't even want to talk about it.
Shortly after the Dead Domain interviews went public, Isaac, John...
Hey now. You're fine. Okay, I'm going to mute myself because dog is having a moment.
And Miriam each sat down with Rediscover Studio, bringing their stories to a wider Christian audience. And it was here that the messaging shifted. It moved from, "Don't watch that transvestite interview," to, "Why would you watch any of the videos at all?"
My dad told them, hey, don't watch the video. And a lot of them didn't.
I'm sure some of you have watched it, but you know what? I don't know why. And maybe you need to think about things like that in the future, that, you know, why would you do that?
Anyone who saw that, and I'm ashamed to admit that I did, that's one lesson I've learned from all this. Don't watch this crap. You know, just wait for the man of God to address it in his own due time.
Once you realize that they're lying, it's wicked to keep listening to their crap. In fact, I would say it was wicked to even listen to their crap in the first place.
If the people out there who are siding against Pastor Anderson don't have enough discernment to see that everything that's taken place is a coordinated attack of Satan after this, I don't know what to tell them.
There is a satanic attack
of Satan. Satan after this, I don't know what to tell him.
Oh, sorry. Nehemiah, thank you very, very much. Pro streamer. Yep. Lady, thanks, lady. I forgot about that. All right. Nehemiah, thank you for 5. Sadly, I must depart for the night. Stay gay as fuck, queers. Sorry, everybody.
There is a satanic attack coordinated by multiple people right now with a stated goal of just taking me out of the ministry and getting me to step down as pastor.
Yeah, dude.
Stephen Anderson needs to step down.
And he should step down from the office of a bishop.
I do believe that he should step down.
Stephen Anderson is and has been disqualified from being a pastor.
I want him to admit he failed and to admit he's disqualified, and I want him to step down, and I want him to fix his relationship with his kid.
He should have stepped down a long time ago, and he's too proud.
I'm not stepping down.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not repentant, because I'm not guilty.
You know, nearly 300 people in that church this morning applauding our pastor when he says, I'm not stepping down.
Come on.
Well, I still think he should step down. Well, you know what? No one asked you, first of all.
Not a single person in my church has asked me to step down. And in fact, everybody's just...
Not a single person asked me to step down. The Fear of God, April 21st, 2025. We sat down and counted. We lost about 90 and 100 people because of all that crap that went on last year. Good. Good. I hope they are all doing fucking better with their lives and spending any time around you.
Encouraging me to continue. Every single person is just saying, keep going, don't quit, we love you, you're right, we're on your side.
I do not believe that Pastor Anderson should step down.
I love Pastor Anderson, and I'm going to continue supporting him, and I think he should continue pastoring because this is an obvious satanic spiritual attack. I believe he's at the tip of the spear right now.
He always, like, the way Jonathan Shelley talks reminds me of like a Whitest Kids You Know skit. Like, he doesn't sound, you're right, he doesn't sound like he's really that angry. He sounds like the way like a Chappelle Show character would imitate something like this.
And let's just be honest, if he goes down, we're next.
Violet Left, I
The core
see
was
exactly what
generally
you're talking
reserved for,
about.
I guess I want to say worse offenses, because I don't think you realize how low the threshold was for getting hit. Some of these kids would get spanked 10 plus times per day for one child. We were like good kids. Like, I've never mouthed off to my parents who lived at home, ever.
We were not being beaten because my parents caught us drinking or doing drugs or hooking up with church girls or something. We didn't get caught doing any of that stuff. So it wasn't just that we were being horribly abused. It was that, like, it wasn't an appropriate response. Like, the punishment did not fit the crime.
It wasn't just that I did something real bad and I got a big spanking. I was in a constant state of stress of getting a horrible spanking for getting busted for doing something normal.
Well, your kids didn't even do anything that bad. Why'd you have to be spanking them so hard if they didn't even do anything that bad?
Okay, well, let me say this to you. It's sort of like this dandruff commercial for Head & Shoulders shampoo from the 80s.
God.
The guy sees in the locker room, the guy with the dandruff shampoo, he says, hey, I didn't know you had dandruff. Why are you using Head & Shoulders? You don't have dandruff. And he says,
wraps and whips around and gets my inner thigh. That stings significantly.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's what they would do to children. Multiple times, dozens of times. God damn.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Oh my!
I know that shit stung.
Ow! Okay.
there are people that are legitimately abused, like people who get raped or people that get molested. For example, the Bible talks about servants being abused in the Old Testament where they lose an eye or get a tooth knocked out or something, right? You know, that's abuse.
The cold facts of it are so insane that no exaggeration is necessary. He was beating kids with an electrical cord that are under the age of 10 for like, really just like random stuff.
The feeling of watching or listening to one of my siblings being beaten was probably the most difficult feeling that I ever experienced in my childhood.
It was hard to get beaten. It sucked to get beaten, and it sucked almost more watching that constantly happening to your siblings.
It was this ultimate betrayal of trust for me because my parents, who I wanted to trust, I wanted to love, I wanted to feel that they cared for me, that I could rely on them, they were violating me and my siblings in such a terrible way and really just betraying that trust. And it was horrible because I could hear my siblings being hurt and there was this feeling of helplessness. Just having to sit there and listen to them being hurt and them screaming and crying and begging for mercy, begging for help. It was a horrible feeling. It was this feeling of they need my help and I can't help them because there's nothing I can do.
The home was never an environment where you felt safe. And I think that that is one of the most damaging aspects of it, is like all of us are going to be in environments and situations where we don't feel safe or we don't feel comfortable, and we're kind of on guard, right? If you're walking through a bad neighborhood at night unarmed, you're going to be a little bit like on high alert. Okay, am I about to get jumped? And then you get home, you get to your car, you're over, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm safe, I can relax. And I never had that growing up. My parents would go from 0 to 100 in a couple of minutes, grab the nearest kid to them and start beating them.
Steven Anderson weaponized Christianity. He used it as a shield and a sword, dressing cruelty in Bible language until it passed as conviction.
All in all, it's good. This is, hang on. All in all, it's good. Please tell me he's in jail. He is not. He's not. No, last I heard, because, like, unless they have concrete definitional proof, or unless somebody brings some kind of legal action against him, tries to essentially sue him for something like this, there's like legitimately very little recourse. Oh no, the youngest siblings are still with him and his wife, from what I understand.
And when abuse was named, he rejected the term outright, insisting Scripture doesn't even recognize it as a thing.
Where does the Bible talk about child abuse? Can somebody please show me where in the Bible it talks about child abuse? And you know what? It's called disciplining your kids.
My dad basically believes there's no such thing as child or spousal abuse. He thinks it's just not real. Besides sexual abuse, he does not recognize any form of abuse. He believes the CPS should be completely disbanded, and there's no situation where a parent can beat their child too far. There's none.
Even the accusations that I'm being accused of are not even condemned by the Bible. How about the fact that even if all this stupid crap were true, which it isn't, it would be embarrassing. You could say it's bad, I don't like it. I'm not even being accused of even violating the Bible.
Alexandria Tempest, thanking me to stop for now. Have a great night. Thanks, El Salve. This is my favorite channel. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry if the harshness of the subject matter. What are you talking about? This resolution makes this look like an early PS2 game. This looks fucking great. What are you talking about? I will put on Summoner, okay? I will plug in the PS5 and I will put on the copy of Summoner I downloaded, and I will show you early PS2.
I don't see anything in the Bible about smoking pot. Where in the Bible does it mention pedophilia?
Shu Gomri, who is the subject of the documentary? The subject is the hateful piece of shit right here, whose children I have helped come forward with abuse in the past. So we did talk a little bit about me a couple minutes ago, because I am kind of part of the story in weird ways.
I don't see anything in the Bible about smoking pot. Where in the Bible does it mention pedophilia? You know, the Bible does not specify the details of what every sin is.
Know that those are not abused children. They're not. Maybe you need to redefine exactly what you consider abuse. That's not abuse, friend. These kids are acting like a bunch of spoiled, spiteful little jerks.
The fact remains that there is no physical evidence that this happened.
Where's the evidence, though? Where is the evidence?
And you're like, oh, you're supporting an abuser. Shut up. If you think that, then you're an idiot.
Evidence? Receipts?
Because to say something like that about a person when you don't have physical evidence of that, I think is wicked as hell.
This idiot, Paul Wittenberger, thinks he's gonna make a movie about abuse when he has no images or videos. Bro, do you even know what a movie is? How the heck do you make a movie of something that there are no pictures or videos of because it isn't real?
My dad has a God complex for sure. I have never once heard my dad acknowledge something wrong with himself, like acknowledge a flaw. I've never once heard him like issue an apology or admit he was wrong about something. If he's right,
then everybody who sides with him is on the right side and everybody who's against him is on the wrong side. There's like a critical lack of the ability to self-reflect. Where basically if a bunch of people say you're wrong, he's not like, oh wow, I might be wrong. He's like, this is Satan.
And he very much, taught to us like, hey, my understanding of the Bible, what I say the Bible says is absolute truth. And he said, hey, what I'm doing is okay. I can hit you to this degree. It's allowed by the Bible. If you tell anyone, you're gonna get condemned by God. And then growing up as a little kid, being like, he used God as the boogeyman. He used God as a threat. He weaponized God and he weaponized religion, and it worked.
And then the people who say, oh, spanking doesn't work. Well, you know what? Maybe you didn't spank him hard enough. Because you know what the Bible says? He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. And here's what's funny is that a lot of times when people hear this thing of he that spareth his rod, they think it means not spanking
I didn't know I could do that.
Is that really what spare means, though? You could spank your children and still be sparing the rod if you only spank sparingly. The Bible's saying that you have to give your kids a serious spanking and a serious amount of spankings. I don't give a rat's whatever what my kids think about my parenting. Because last time I checked, I ride on the horse and they walk on the earth. Last time I checked, I'm in charge and I'm the judge and they are the ones.
It is low key very funny to have him be like, well, this guy's gonna make a whole documentary about what an abusive piece of shit I am. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. But he has no footage. But name goes here, Yas. They showed the whole tasing at the beginning of the video. They showed the whole tasing. I didn't either. Well, okay, so Xylosim, I knew you could knock that back at Beowulf. I didn't know you could do it with that attack, the forward B or forward circle. Yeah, no, he got this guy got tased by a border patrol agent in 2004.
To listen and learn.
Just the fact that you spank them, that alone is not going to fix it. You must also time it right. You need to do it in a just way. You need to do it. You need to do it early. There needs to be a consistency to it. There's a lot of things that go into parenting.
Let's try it again.
There's a lot that goes into discipline.
Nope, okay.
And at the end of the day, it's about being led of the Spirit. It's about just loving your children.
There we go.
And if you have those things, you'll know what to do. The problem is
hell yeah, dude.
They're just very because it's like they've got nothing.
Oh, fuck you.
They're like robots.
That's fucking cheap.
And so it's just like spank them. That's all they know, and they just spank them. And it's like, how hard? You need dial it up to a 7. All right, so, and then they do it. And it's just like most people just instinctively know because they love their children.
After the allegations went public, he shifted the conversation from measured correction to something much different. He began reaching for passages about adult punishment carried out by civil authority, using that language to defend physical punishment of children while never addressing the specific claims.
Things can go overboard. There are limitations. God's not just giving people a carte blanche to just discipline and go crazy because of the fact that he says, hey, 40 stripes is the max that anyone would ever receive for any reason. And hey, we're not talking about knocking out someone's tooth or knocking out an eye or something. Of course things can go overboard, but here's what's not overboard, a rod. Here's what's not overboard, scourge. Here's what's not overboard, stripe.
He claimed, never give your child more than 40 swats. First of all, 40 is pretty excessive, but there have been situations where he's given siblings over 100 in a matter of 5 minutes because they're trying to beat a confession out of a kid, and they just give him 20. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, do it again, and they just keep doing it. So he's obviously just lying.
Here's another verse on corporal punishment of children. The blueness of a wound cleanseth away evil, so do stripes the inward parts of the belly.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. God.
And when the Bible says innermost parts of the belly, it's talking about like your heart, your soul, right? So what it's saying is that it is cleansing for the soul to be physically disciplined. It's giving you character. It's making you a better person. here's the thing about a stripe, okay? Everybody know what a stripe is? Okay, a stripe is if you get whipped or flogged or caned or whatever, it leaves a mark. And the stripe that it leaves is a bloody stripe. This is why the Bible says, by his stripes we are healed, about the Lord Jesus Christ. That's talking about the blood of Christ cleansing us from all sin. You know, if you have striped pajamas, here's what it means. There's one color, and there's a different color. And there's another color, and there's a different color. So does everybody understand what stripes are? Could it be that the rod or the scourge somehow leaves a mark? And that this could be thought of as a stripe? Whoa! Mind absolutely blown. In my opinion, Proverbs 20 verse 30 is applying to both child-rearing and criminal justice. It's just a general principle that's just saying corporal punishment works.
Why would you come out and preach a sermon that is justifying beating with a cord, that is justifying leaving stripes and marks on your children, and taking scripture, by the way, and twisting it out of context and taking it out of the Bible and wresting it? Why would you justify those types of things at a time that you're being accused of doing those very things?
The Bible literally says, whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourges every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons, for what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So the Bible's using a father.
Costel in Hadu reference, he's not even really preaching his religion. He's just making a huge speech on why he should be allowed to torture children. It's not just children. It's also, and I wonder why we're going to talk about, or if they're going to talk about him also beating his wife. Because I think that is more the bridge, I feel, in topics here, is the beating of not just children, but your spouse.
Physically disciplining his son as a metaphor for the Heavenly Father disciplining us. Figuratively speaking, right? But there's a literal father literally punishing his child. And it says, whom the Lord loveth, he scourges. Now, of course, these bozos are coming out and saying, scourge doesn't really mean scourge. Okay, well, let's see what the Bible says. Look at John chapter 2, verse 15. Let's see what scourge means. This is Jesus. And when he had made a scourge of small... the bad word. When he had made a scourge of small...
The wife he groomed and practically stole from Germany, yes. But it is, Susanna is also a piece of shit too. Like, so do not get her, do not give her, like, she's somebody who deserves pity for sure for being married to this insane piece of shit. But she is also somebody who absolutely perpetuated and, yeah.
Small cords. Now, look, correct me if I'm wrong. Sounds like a scourge is a scourge. Sounds like it's made out of cords.
What are we watching? Carrie, we are watching the documentary on the hate church that I was consulted on and included in a little bit. Although we've already watched my part. El Salve, thank you. Yay, you're supposed to be going to bed over on Twitch. El Salve, thank you for Prime for 3 months in a row.
But you reject the Bible's teaching on corporal punishment. Beat him with the rod, scourge him, the blueness of the wound. Oh, no, it's abuse. Show me in the Bible.
Show me your Bible. God, you're such a fucking pedant.
We believe in corporal punishment. What's corporal punishment? Spanking, right? But we believe in it being done correctly and in the right way. that it should not exceed that, it should not go beyond that. And let me just be clear, it is not just up to the parents to decide how much is enough. I think that you could easily understand how much is enough, that if you are beating your child on other places other than the buttocks and leaving marks, that's too much. But in that sermon that Steven Anderson preached on corporal punishment, number one, he justifies beating with a whip. He twists the scriptures and he wrests the Bible that are about, criminals, adult criminals in the Old Testament. That in the Old Testament, of course, there would be the punishment of, beating the fool with a rod, right? Or in the Old Testament, there were those that might be beaten with the scourge, 40 save 1, 39 lashes. Well, those types of punishments were corporal punishments that were for adult criminals. Understand that. And he uses those types of scriptures to justify beating his children with a scourge or an electrical cord, and justifies leaving bloody marks and stripes on his children. Now look, if you're going to sit there and say that there's no basis to the accusations that his children made, which is what Steven Anderson has said on one hand, there's no basis. They're lying about this, they're embellishing about this, but then get up and preach that sermon and justify those very actions. You know what that tells me? You did it. By your own word, by your own account, you think it's fine to do those things. And let me just be clear that that is abuse. That is not discipline. That is not something that is biblical. That is evil. That is wicked. That is unnecessary. That is abuse.
Well, were you guys told to conceal your injuries so that?
Oh, that is such a good look for her. Holy crap. God, I'm so happy she's doing okay. I'm so glad I was able to help them out when I was.
Remember that happening is my mom was really mad at me. I don't remember what I had even done, but she had kind of been doing one of the.
God damn it, Blanchy. Oh, why you gotta give me some bad news? Why you gotta unprecedented. All right, Tim Collins. So on the subject, really quick. Some late-breaking news on The Onion's quest to take over InfoWars. The Texas appeals court just stayed the turnover of the site to the official who inked the agreement with an affiliate of The Onion. This puts the deal in bizarre legal limbo for now. More to come. Is the turnover in cause pending further order on the emergency motion for immediate stay of void turnover order issued in violation of the bankruptcy automatic stay. Jesus Christ. That fucking blows. We now expect new traps in Jones's amoral war to deny paying the Sandy Hook families, but we're freshly surprised by the U.S. legal system's appetite to put up with it. Alex invents new avenues to subvert justice with the appeasement of a series of ultimately scared people who should know better. I'm going to keep fighting for the Sandy Hook families who haven't seen a penny from Alex Jones. The Onion's readership wants us to fight this fight and mock the very capricious and unjust system we are currently experiencing all through America right now, one that lets tyrants abuse the courts while good people get hurt. God, that fucking sucks, dude.
Those things where she just indiscriminately beat me with the little boards. I had a massive welt on my arm, a massive bruise, and it was in the shape of the boards that my parents used to hit us with. They were called hobby boards that were probably this big and then this thick or something, and they use those, and those were used on our arms, on our faces, backs, chests. They would just kind of hit you wherever they could.
It's like a glorified ruler, is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just like a flat, long, thin piece of wood. And you know, that provides a great, you know, stinging sensation.
And I was wearing that dress and it was obviously sleeveless. And my mom, I guess she didn't realize that it was showing until I was at church. And my mom came up to me and she was so mad. And she took me aside and she was like, how dare you? She was like, you're trying to have people see this. You want people to notice it. And she locked me in the car and she said, you're not gonna get out until we're done here because no one's gonna see this. And that night she when we got home, she was like, you're gonna change right now. You're gonna wear long sleeves until that's gone. You will not wear anything sleeveless. And for days after that, she would like check my outfit and be like, okay, this was an injury. It was something that you dealt with not only the day that you received the beating, but days afterwards. It was something that was embarrassing. It was something that we were expected to cover up. We had to wear long sleeves off sometimes. We had to wear a shirt going swimming because my parents were very worried about people.
So this was another thing that when Miriam and I spoke, I ended up going back through, and this was before I believe her mom has taken a lot of it down, probably because I found pictures. When Miriam and I spoke, there were a lot of moments that I had to write stuff down that I was able to go check on. And one of the things I found in the original video that corroborated her story was the fact that her mom, Susanna, took a lot of pictures for her mommy blog. And that involved things like chairs that Miriam would say that had been thrown around, had been broken. And when you went to look at the blog pictures, you would see broken chairs. And it's stuff like that. Like there's no way 10 years ago that was something that they were playing. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to tell about the chairs that got broken. Like that's there are too many things that are far too specific, I think.
Finding out how they punished us and how severe these beatings were.
They would sometimes make kids wear long sleeve shirts if there were like marks showing on their arms or upper back. Because you know, you can't have people knowing that you'd be doing that. So yeah, definitely wouldn't hide it.
I was always dressed really poorly for the season. It would be the middle of summer in Phoenix and I would be wearing like a jacket or a long sleeve shirt to hide marks. My parents were also pretty clever about getting around marks because what they would do is they would beat our thighs and our backs a lot or even like our chests and stuff because those were things that were hidden. Those were things that people couldn't see.
Did you personally see your father slam Solomon's head into a concrete window frame?
God damn.
Yes. You did? You saw that? Okay.
Well, there's a scar on the side of Solomon's head from when his head got slammed into a concrete window frame.
God
'Cause
damn, they
Corner
have
West
the whole...
told my dad he was watching clips of The Office.
Oh, so he was allowed to have a phone at that age then, or what?
He was, but there were all these parental controls that so he wasn't supposed to have any access to the internet, so he was not supposed to be able to access YouTube or the internet in any way whatsoever. So he needed the phone for work and stuff. So like he could really only use it for like calling, texting, and like maps. So basically my brother came in through like the front door of the house. He'd just gotten off work. And then my dad just started basically attacked him. And slammed his head because it was an old brick house built in like the 50s, so they're like these like cement windowsills.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And obviously there's corners on them.
And he grabbed his head and he like punched him in the face, but he grabbed his head and he had his head pinioned against this windowsill. So when he punched him in the face, his head slammed into the corner of the windowsill and it basically like split. Like I don't know if you've ever cut yourself on like a dull object, but you know when it like splits open?
Ugh.
And you could see his skull. And he was like, there was blood dripping down like the side of his neck.
Did he take him to the hospital or anything?
No. They sent him outside to do yard work.
When he's bleeding and everything?
Yeah, he had like blood down his head and neck and like on his shirt.
Did he ever?
He never received medical care.
Never.
I remember I went out to him to bring him like some water and I brought him like paper towels for his head. I just remember like seeing him like with blood on the side of his face, and I just remember like giving him the paper towel and just feeling like so stupid for giving him like paper towels and water. And
I'm gonna get some water real quick. This is actually making me like a little bit queasy. I'll be right back, chat. God damn. Oh my God. All right. Why did they hate their children this much? I think it's because they're like at their core, I think it's because they are sociopaths. Like they want to exert control over things that are smaller and weaker than them because they like I don't know, I don't want to pathologize like, oh, they hate their lives or whatever, but goddamn. Looks like a Japanese action game. It is Devil May Cry 3.
I was so scared because I was like, my parents find out that I did this. But
Oh, Pusta, I would absolutely not be surprised if Steven Anderson was abused growing up. I feel like he's spoken about getting beaten by his parents.
I remember having this vivid thought of like, I think Solomon's gonna kill himself, like
because he's just so broken.
Jesus.
Down.
Yeah, like that was my thought.
And Solomon has about an inch and a half long scar on the side of his head where he got his head slammed. Mind you, Solomon was 17.
Do you think it's because he got embarrassed? Yeah, he got embarrassed. He just has to just bring the hammer down. I was working a job. Like, I could easily have been buying drugs and getting drunk if I wanted to and sleeping around. Like, I wasn't like a kid at home sneaking onto the computer to go look at porno or something. I mean, if you're an older teen, like what, you're still hitting your teenager? Like, did you fail as a parent?
I just want my dad to explain exactly how my brother got that scar. Because he says there's no physical evidence, right? So if there's no physical evidence, how did he get that scar? Did he fall? Did he trip? No, I don't think that's what happened. And there's a reason why he hasn't even come up with a story.
I'm sitting at the counter in one of those wooden bar stools, and he grabs the back of my seat, because the bar stool is taller than the one I'm sitting on now, by maybe about a foot or so. And he just...
Yep, these were the goddamn. I wonder where they got these fucking pictures. This has to be like it must have been from like the family. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 25 bits. Watching this reminds me of my bastard of a grandfather. We got into a fist fight because he found out I was out of the closet. Died 6 months later. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry about that. That really fucking sucks. Oh yeah, no, it was a tiny house. The house they started their so who are the Crizzos in this cult documentary? Well, I don't know if they're again, like it's kind of hard to call it a cult. It's more just a shitty pastor in a family.
rips it straight backwards, and I like fell, and like the bar stool broke under me. And then he just started kicking and stomping my head, and he was screaming, "I'm gonna kill you." And he was trying to get me to fight him. He's like, "Oh, if I could fight, come on, fight me, hit me, hit me."
Was he stomping straight down on your head, or what?
Yes, he was kicking and stomping like a soccer kick. Not even legal in MMA. But I remember he had texted Corbin Russell about, "Oh, I beat these kids within an inch of their life," and Corbin, the intellectual thinking man.
We can't have a pastor actually calling you out for your bullcrap. Maybe you should go check your daughter's Instagram. Play drinking whiskey.
That he is. Everybody who came to him saying, "I don't think Pastor Anderson punished their kids adequately," he just sent them like a screenshot of Pastor Anderson saying he beat us within an inch of our lives. And yeah, you saw. Yeah. So then the cops showed up at my parents' house. They're like, "Hey, we want to know where your son Isaac works." They go, "Why?" They go, "We want to talk to him about this." They had it like printed out and stuff. They had it printed out like, "So why'd you say that?" And my parents just told them to get off their porch. And once again, CPS is toothless. They just had to pack up and leave.
I came down like a ton of bricks on my kids. I gave them severe punishment. They got severely punished.
So how old were you? This happened on June 22nd, 2020. So I would have been 17.
So did any of your sisters or brothers see this?
My sister Rebecca was actually watching through a partially open door from another room, and she saw and could corroborate the whole story.
He was just angry. He was angry at everyone and everything. And it didn't matter if you had done something or not done something. If you were in the room, then you were in the wrong. To be there was enough to get hit. To be there was enough to get screamed at. Simply existing in his presence when he was angry was considered an offense.
You suck as an employee. You have sucked the whole time you've worked here. I have been this close to firing you every month. The only reason I kept you around is because I don't want to rock the boat. You're leaving anyway. You are lazy. You know, if I had to work with you for the rest of my life, I would have fired you a long time ago.
The congregation
What the
saw
fuck was
pieces of
that from?
anger from the pulpit. But the children say what people witnessed in public was only part of it, and that the same rage followed him home.
He was basically just like a toddler, unable to control his anger and just throwing tantrums.
He was a completely different person. He was throwing plates, he was screaming, he was hitting people, he was bashing bar stools against the countertop. It was this form of my dad that we were all terrified of.
John and Solomon were at a sign language class that was being hosted at a public school after hours. And John has always made like weird, violent drawings of like people getting shot or driven over with a steamroller. I don't know if I ever saw the actual picture. It was some kind of violent, macabre drawing. Wrote like questions, comments, concerns, and just wrote Solomon's phone number on it.
Now, my parents' perspective.
I could see John. John, to me, seems like a kid like I was. El Salve, thank you for 80 bits. Like, if y'all can believe it, I was similarly a more, very, morbid child. But I also think I do think there is a correlation between kids who are more morbid or more expressive, and kids who grow up to be a little bit more empathetic, I think. Which is absolutely where I think John falls.
It was that I was the chaperone. It's my job to stop this kind of thing from happening. But I'm not that much older. So my parents saw this as my fault. They spanked me pretty damn hard, but I don't remember because it kind of got overshadowed by what happened next.
They were more mad at Solomon because Solomon hadn't snitched on John for doing it. Solomon didn't do it, but they were mad that he hadn't snitched on John for doing it. So Solomon was the one that was in huge trouble, and my dad just beat him, and they all said, just bring me everything you love, and just smashed everything, just destroyed it in front of him.
So an inadequate punishment for me failing to chaperone my brother properly in a situation I could not understand was to take all of my stuff and smash it in front of me so I don't have any like things anymore, and it also does lots of psychological damage.
So he was just like smashing his RC stuff, like he had like RC cars and toys. He just destroyed everything he owned that he cared about.
That's what happens when something my brother did that I didn't prevent might have possibly involved the CPS. Yeah, it was wild at the house.
God damn.
And this is the kind of stuff that would happen. And that was not the only time I got all smashed, to be clear. My dad smashed a lot of things. Because again, it's like you spank a kid, it hurts, but it's over. The punishment's over. And why would you want the punishment to end? You break their stuff and with them for a long time.
I was crying when that happened. I was very sad for Solomon's sake because our allowance was, at best, it was half of our age. If he had a couple $100 worth of stuff smashed, that was just devastating.
There are so many more stories, if anything.
Duke Jahu 311, how did the parents not expect this immediately when they left the house? Honestly, I don't know. Like, I can only expect that this will continue to keep happening as more and more of their kids leave the house. Like, it will happen eventually. And I just hope sooner rather than later somebody fucking brings charges against him that these just monsters can end up at least away from their kids. At least away from doing more harm.
That were not even brought up, just because obviously for sake of time, they can't go into every single story because this was almost a daily occurrence, if not a daily occurrence, where extreme abuse was happening. And so they, if anything, could not talk about everything, but everything that they said was 100% true.
Are these stories even true? Like the stories that she tells, the stories John tells, the stories Isaac tells. Yes, the electrical cable was used on kids. Yes, it hurt really bad. That stuff definitely happened. and it happened on a somewhat regular basis.
Anderson framed violence as virtue, stripes as love, the cord as obedience, and bruises as something that could cleanse. But many would not accept that Scripture could excuse that.
Jay Kong, thank you for $2. Is Steven just mad everybody's taller than him? He has 12 kids. 12 kids. I think he definitely has a... I think he definitely has a, like, maybe a little bit of a Napoleon complex. But it's hard to say. Is this the get run? Hey, Shrimpy, leave me alone, okay? I forgot how to fight the fucking horse. I haven't dug this, like, it's been a minute since I played Devil May Cry 3. Fucking hop off.
That much
All right,
violence
give me a second,
toward a
chat.
child. So he turned to Old Testament law and argued that if a child could be corrected his whole life and still grow into a disobedient young adult, still defying his parents, then only one punishment remained: death.
Now, Deuteronomy chapter 21 gives us a really sobering reality, okay? And this is a verse that's probably one of the most unpopular verses in the Bible.
If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice
hate
of his
this
father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Because of the fact that he's being described as a glutton.
Yeah,
and
he's
a
talking
drunkard,
about the biblical. Yeah. I forget how many people, like, this feels like it just kind of happened, but it happened coming up on 2 years ago, where we did the expose on all these assholes. And 3 years for my infiltration of the church and then 2 years for everything else. But excuse me. I forget how, like, we get new viewers in here all the time. We're constantly getting a bunch of people. Oh, no, he didn't kill anybody. No, not to my knowledge. But I forget how much people need to be brought up to date on some of this shit. Because, like, yeah, I've done videos on all this stuff before. There's I made a whole playlist that you can, I think it's in consecutive order. So if this has you wanting to know any more about these assholes, I have no shortage of me discussing them, exposing them, interviewing people, exposing them, talking about them. It's all in a playlist on the channel.
12-year-old. We're not talking about a 15-year-old. We're talking about an adult, right? We're talking about someone who has grown up and they've been
Oh my God, El Salve, thank you for 1,500. What do pits do on your channel on Twitch? I don't know how to help you with your question. Thank you for, holy shit, thank you for 1,500. They are essentially donations, I believe. So they work the same way donos do. I think it's just an easier way to do that. As for being young and afraid in that kind of situation, I think the hardest work that you can do is to forgive yourself there and understand that you weren't in a position to actually do anything. Like that, it's easy in hindsight to woulda, coulda, shoulda, but the reality is probably pretty different. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think that sounds like a incredibly hard thing that I am not necessarily qualified to give input on. I would say that at the end of the day, the only person whose fault it is are the monsters who do that shit. Like that's it. Like it is not you, it is not on anybody else. It is on the people who make the choices to do it. And yeah, Lefty McLefterson, therapy helps, friends.
And they've been taught, and their parents have chastised them. They weren't failing to discipline. They did discipline, they did chastise. Then all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Obviously, if they're saying, well, we chastened him, and he's not hard, they're saying, like, we've been chastening him, like, now. We're trying to straighten him out. He's refusing to listen. He's a punk. He's evil. He's wicked. And he's put to death. Now notice, here's what the elders of the city don't say. Oh, you failed as a parent. This is your fault. No. You know what they're saying? Kill him.
If stubborn, rebellious children, if bad kids are a result of parenting, why are the parents not put to death? And they say, you poor little kid, you were punished too badly. You were chastised a little too much. No, in fact, they said, hey, have you spanked him hard enough? And it's like, yeah, I did spank him hard enough, and it still didn't work. Then you know what? Let's put him to death. That was what the Bible said. That's what the Word of God says.
We do see some pretty severe punishments in the scriptures. Now, I think it's clear that most of those are ones that are dished out by the government, like the death penalty, like leaving stripes and things like that, and a rod to the fool's back. I do not believe in taking a rod to your son's back, but I do believe there's people within our world that could definitely use a rod to their back when it comes to certain crimes. But even in those cases, you would bring them before judges, and they would decide how many stripes and how many whacks with the rod or whatever, depending on the crime. And so because we can show somewhere in the Bible where they would give somebody 40 lashes and they take a rod to the back of fools, I can now do that to my kids whenever I want. It's like, okay, but wait a minute. Even if you convinced me, and you're not, but even if you convinced me it was okay to give your kid 40 lashes, is what they did worthy of 40 lashes?
As the release of this episode, Steven Anderson has not publicly denied beating his children with extension cords, nor will he. Nor will he, honestly. Goblin Culinary, thank you for 25 bits. Also, I want to point out, I'm 4'11", not nearly as insecure about my height as Stevie Anderson is. I don't cower behind an ass-backwards read of the New Testament to justify being a sack of shit either. And, like, that's... Does Steven Anderson burn crosses? No, he is not... He is racist, but he is the kind of racist where he will, like, be friends with, like, Hispanic people and black people and will be like, yeah, no, I believe in everybody being equal. And then, you know, we'll promote racist conspiracy theories and repeat racist talking points and shit. He is wild, like, all of the people in the NIFB are wildly anti-Semitic. Little EP Girl, thank you for $5. The group is elitist. The leader is unaccountable to authorities. Us versus them ideology. He demands his followers think the way he does. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. When you list off Steven Anderson's qualities and how he navigates just everything, it is very easy to sit and call him like a cult leader. And I think especially with there is a legitimate cult of personality around him. Right, that he has formed with people like Jonathan Shelley and Bruce Mejia and all these people. Bread and Roses, why am I in the documentary? Because I was... where was I? I was at the beginning, pretty close. Yeah, there I am. A couple years back, I helped a bunch of kids of this hate preacher to come forward with their stories about his abuse. And the makers of this documentary contacted me over a year ago to get the footage I had so they could have clean footage of all the interviews I did with the kids. Look, Eba Girl, thank you for $10. He told people to move to a church specifically, induces guilt in those who question him, and justify the means, demands more followers and money, must think, act, and feel a certain way. That's 9 of 15 qualities of a cult. Yeah. Yeah. It is those last 6 that the church will generally try and hold out as being the... Oh man, that was a game. That was a game. That was a movie. Who remembers fucking vampire? What the hell was this thing called? Dracula's Angel. Oh man, Dracula's Angel. Interesting. If y'all haven't checked out my movie review for Dracula's Angel, 16,000 views is not enough for that thing. That's a fun video. Oh man, it genuinely feels like a fever dream because I made it in like 2 days. Because I don't even remember how we came across it on stream. I think somebody just recommended it to me. Or no. How did we fall down that fucking rabbit hole? God, what? Dracula's Angel. So I think that's about the end of the video. Let me see. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for another. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hour 37. Have a good one, little epic girl. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for another 25 bits. Genuinely cannot believe this guy has the presence to even form a cult. Just listening, he has anti-charisma. He's whiny, hostile, rolled a critical fail and a charisma save. Generally do not understand how anyone can listen to him and not laugh in his face. It's the thing that is... You learn a lot, or the thing I've learned or seen a lot in these kind of, like... I'm going to say cults of personality because it's not always a cult, but it is usually like an enclosed space with a kind of alpha, a domineering presence who is a fucking liar, who is self-interested, who is abusive, who doesn't take criticism. And it's not too different from, the same thing that you saw when I did the expose on the way the Satanic Temple lies to its followers, the way Lucien Greaves lies and is a likewise piece of shit, and how that enables abuse. It's not too different from the way that you see, again, like Alex Jones and InfoWars. I think there is something to people who want this kind of power, want this kind of recognition, that they will then seek out people they perceive to be subservient in some way. They perceive to be like, okay, this guy is going to listen to what I say. I've got him hooked. I'll be able to fucking mold them however they want. Girl Modder, do I do cult topics or just politics? I do kind of everything, honestly. Excuse me, goodness gracious. Om Shinrikyo is an interesting topic. I am familiar with Om Shinrikyo. I've been meaning to do more kind of deep dives for stuff like that. And I've had I go back to it every now and again. There is a video essay at some point coming about Mormons and Mormonism, because that is one of the craziest fucking insane. Well, Om Shinrikyo, Anime is like a big thing for cults in Asia. Because the Happy Science cult is another one. I don't think that's related to Om Shinrikyo. But Happy Science, and then I want to say there was one for the fucking the Falun Gong cult. I want to say Falun Gong did a anime similarly, if I'm remembering. So is Steven Anderson family like the Well, the Manson family wasn't actually a family. Those people weren't related. But I think in a similar way, yeah, it is based around like the whims of one sociopath. Satanic Church is an Anton LaVey. No, so not the LaVeyan, quote unquote LaVeyan Satanism is the Satanic Church, or the Satanic Temple. The other one, Lucien Greaves' Grift Factory, is the Church of Satan. Kitsune Cavalier, Happy Science has been known to send representatives to speak at CPAC. Yeah, same with Falun Gong. Wait, no. You're right. It was that the Japanese, because I saw that guy speak at CPAC when I went 2 years ago undercover. Yeah, that is another. I did a full fucking documentary on boom, there you go. What? Come on, dog. Don't try and steal my steez. Fucking AI cover trash. Get the fuck out of here. I should rewatch some of these. I never go back and watch my old videos. Watch party? No. Y'all have plenty to watch. I need to go attend to something, so let's go see. Future charity stream, going through my old vids. I guess we could. That's actually not a bad. That's actually not a bad way to like maybe pad for time. I don't know. I don't want it to turn into like that fucking Shia LaBeouf thing that he did. All right, chat. Who do we want to raid tonight? Let me go check who we have. Goddamn. Wow. Thank you very much. Anime Sidekick out. Thank you for another 5. Are you still working stuff like these cool sounding infiltrations? I might be. I might actually have one I've been working on for the last week. But I cannot talk about it more because I don't want to put it at risk. But yes, so the infiltration videos, I haven't done them in a while, partially because going places now that I'm able to be recognized more is very dicey. I'm not really doing, I don't do like the Walter Masterson thing where I go and I'm a jokester. I kind of go and like sink into the environment, which is really hard to do if you're able to be recognized more. More than that, the one I was working on last year, I talked about, basically ended up in the video essay / interview / deep dive on Hendrix, the pissed off lawyer. Can I ask a question? Would the Nation of Islam be considered a cult? I don't think so. I don't know enough about it to say so, but I think the Nation of Islam, to my understanding, hasn't had like a core figurehead. Like don't get me wrong, Nation of Islam has some fucking crazy beliefs, but I think it's missing that like linchpin, so to speak, which was not meant to be a pun, by the way. They are Scientology level, yeah, 100%. Geoduck, Geoscience, considering trying to infiltrate trans medicalist chats to investigate them, but I find them too aggravating. Yeah. Yeah. What was that lawyer video you were talking about? Shu just ended Hassan. Sad, dude. Yeah, give me a second. I guess let's go to the Founders Day. Okay, no, you're right. I don't know how I forgot about Louis Farrakhan, but I did. Here we go. Inside a lawyer's terminally online journey from a trans activist to a TERF. Cruise control for cool. This was the video that ended up, and I explain more in the video why it didn't become a undercover project, and it was largely because I had started laying the groundwork for an undercover thing where I would go into like TERF groups, but then this fucko fucked it up for me, and I explained that all in here. I do kind of miss having that length of hair. Somnambulant is very funny. I have a lot of looks, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Huh. Umar Johnson, e-beggar scammer? I am not sure. Maybe. I'd have to look up more about it. God. Things are about to end. Bring up that I got called a pick-me and a disappointment by a fan of my channel today because I criticized the Blue Girls anti-trans guy text. No, I threw out a fucking grenade on social media today by doing the same thing. I basically said, like, yeah, I don't fuck with the Blue Girl. I don't. Unless her return to social media is marked and signaled with an understanding and a conversation about, like, an actual fucking apology for saying stuff that very obviously is hurtful to people. No, I don't fuck with that. Like, the way everybody just open, like, pisses me off. Xanac Girls, I wish I could wear cool outfits. You can. Anybody can. The Blue Girl over on, what was her name? Sadie. It's a fucking... She was literally bullied off the internet. What the fuck? I'm not saying she deserved to be bullied off the internet, but it's also... I don't take this idea of being bullied off the internet quite as seriously when your first response to criticism is to double down, triple down, quadruple down. Like, that is... If you take no effort to do anything but spit back in people's faces, yeah, like, I don't understand how people are surprised that you bring shit down on yourself. And I'm not saying that she deserved all of this stuff, and I'm sure she's had fucking horrible stuff, because it's the fucking internet. And being a trans woman on the internet is not easy. But that also does not... that doesn't exempt somebody from being a piece of shit. Like, both things can be true. I don't want somebody to be harassed off the internet at all. I also want somebody to be able to take responsibility for their actions and understand that when you have a massive fucking platform as a trans person, you have a responsibility to not target trans men with that. Anywho. Yeah, let's go say hi to Rin Vixen. They're having a little DGen stream for the girls and guys. So plenty of y'all in here fed under that. And I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. And